Okay, let's have a great show, everyone.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck
Right, that was Jane's Addiction, Just Because, on Xfm 104.9. Right, everybody up, let's give them a great show, yeah? 2 hours of, like, fun, chat. Let's keep it, let's keep it cutting edge. Let's not be too... I mean, that's what the listeners of XFM would... Oh, no, it isn't, is it? No, because... Hold on, wait a minute, because we came in yesterday and did this little skit, didn't we, where we bleeped it out.
A little sketch. It was quite naughty, it was quite controversial.
Karl called me last night, and we're not allowed to play it out.
Oh, but we've been censored?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a cutting-edge alternative station. Wants to push the boundaries. Wants to be thought of as rock and roll, a bit punk rock.
Yeah, because I said something about the radio authority. I bleeped it out what I called them.
Yeah.
But couldn't do it. Done it before.
Censored.
Couldn't do it.
Censored.
Carl agrees though. What's your thoughts, Carl? You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Why?
Well, what's the point?
Well, it was funny, wasn't it? And it wasn't offensive.
Not really. It's not some of the best stuff that would have ever gone out on this show, but. You know.
Right, what are you putting up against, exactly? Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Well, that springs to mind.
Yeah. And Rockbusters?
But I mean, the thing is, the things that you have put out there, I mean, we better be really careful. Who's worried about complaints? I mean, it's not just swearing, is it? It's taste and decency and everything. Yeah. So, we can't laugh about the disabled anymore in the Cheeky Freak of the Week. Can't do stories about elderly relatives with genitals looking like a split tennis ball. Can't do your bad dad putting a child with learning difficulties in a bin. So, what should we just play music?
I think that's all it's gonna have to be, yeah.
Accidents Will Happen by Elvis Costello on XFM 104.9. Carl's a little bit stressed, because it's not his fault, it was the boss that overruled him. He came along. What did he do? He heard you listening to it?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, what's that? I said, it's what Ricky wants to play out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he said, well, can't go out like that. Too many...
But they're all bleeped. We bleeped the swear words.
Yeah, but he didn't want it to go out. I mean, you got to remember, right? You came in yesterday to have a chat about what we're going to do.
Yeah.
One of the topics that I said, let's talk about, which I came up with, was let's talk about swearing.
No, you said you never had a problem with swearing, which is normal.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we did the thing about, isn't it funny that you can, the thing about you can bleep a swear word by taking out the vowel. So we're going, so it's the vowel that's offensive, and we did a little sketch around that, and then ended, and he wanted to completely obliterate the word in the end, didn't want to put the thing in that we said about the radio authority, which I think it was valid and wouldn't have got a comment.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's the boss, and what he says goes, doesn't it?
Sure.
So,
yeah, I was just going to say,
right. Well, but what you got to remember is what he also said is if you want to pay the 70 grand fine, then go ahead and do it, Steve.
There wouldn't be a 70 grand fine there, would there?
Well, you don't know what it'd be. But will you pay it? Will you pay for my mortgage? Will you pay for his mortgage? Will you feed his kids?
He wouldn't be fired.
What do you mean? Well, I tell you what, if it's not a fine, we'd lose the licence, then we'd all be fired.
Right.
When you're sat at home.
Do you seriously think you'd lose the licence for that sketch?
Well,
does he really seriously think you'd lose the licence? But it is not the worst thing we've ever put out or done or ever will do.
Yeah, but it's the fact that he said don't put it out, and you're like, throwing your toys out the pram. I want to say it. I want to say it. How old are you? But you still want to put swearing out.
It's a discussion about the radio authority and the way people are interested.
Yeah, but leave it. Let's
don't
move
get
on.
Annoyed.
Yeah, but I'm annoyed because you've been at it since about 12:30.
I know. Well, I like to get in early to plan the show.
Yeah, but there's been no planning. So, to be honest, I'd turn off today, anyone listening, because there's nothing.
Carl, there's never anything.
There is. There's sometimes some good things, but today, seriously, I'd leave it.
Something half decent that's been on this show.
Loads of little interesting topics.
Go on, I can't remember any.
Right, gays in toilets.
Yeah. Not particularly interesting. Fascinating to you, perhaps.
Right, well, I'd prefer to hear that than just a load of swear words.
Well, we wouldn't have heard any swear words, we'd have heard some bleeping.
Right then, so that's entertaining, isn't it? Load of bleeps.
It's because you don't want to stand up to your boss or say anything. Don't get annoyed with us.
I'd stand up to all, if I agree with what I'm arguing about, but I'm not falling out with him over some crappy thing you want to play out.
Don't say crappy.
Well, it doesn't matter, because I'm not here next week, I tell you that. I've canned this in.
Don't say
so
crappy.
if Andrew is listening,
don't
someone else
say
can be here next
crappy.
week.
Play a record. We apologise for the word crap.
That's out of order, we should replay.
Big Sir, The Thrills on XFM 104.9. Started off another nice atmosphere again in the studio.
Don't blame me, it's not my fault.
No, I know.
Well, it's your fault, mainly.
Yeah.
You are bad, you are quite bad.
Well, come on.
Come on, you are.
Don't try and win him round just because he scared you.
I don't know who's that against. Is it me or him? I don't know now.
It's you.
Right, well, I'm not a coward.
No.
I'm not a coward.
Okay,
I'm just thinking of the listeners, Rick, and I just want them to be entertained.
Yeah. luckily, that's not a big problem for us.
What, you mean we're effortlessly entertaining, or there's no listeners?
Well, yeah, somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Carl, what's happened to you this week, mate?
Now it's happened.
Come on.
What? Nothing's happened?
Come on. I came in, and he had an hour lunch break. You know, he's sort of like he never gets a break. I came in one day. He was out for an hour. I had a nice little chat with Andrew Phillips about, you know, where we were going with the show and, you know.
Where are we going with it? You come up with anything?
Ah, dear.
It's how far we can run it into the grave.
Yeah, no, if we go off air, it certainly won't be through, being cutting edge or controversial, because people have just turned off because it's too boring to listen to. Brack. But he was out for an hour.
Having a lunch break for an hour. He's always saying he's too busy.
I know, yeah.
It's interesting.
So,
Actually, on the subject of that, I noticed Dan here has emailed in. He says, I was listening to last week's show, and I think Carl is taking his job for granted. I'd love to swap with him for a week. My qualifications are that I can press play on a CD player and stop.
Carl, what do you think of that?
And he can come in next week, seriously.
Yeah. It says here...
Don't get ratty, Carl.
I'm not being ratty. Dan, email me. You know my address. Email, it'll be sorted out. You can be here next week.
Dan suggested we could call it Carl Idol, where people audition each week, or perhaps Bone Idol.
I like that. Bone Idol.
Brilliant.
Have we got a monkey news, Carl?
Don't know if I can be bothered.
Play a record. Pretenders. Good.
Oh, dear.
On XFM 104.9. That's professionalism, isn't it?
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Ricky, I don't know if I can describe it really, the scene. You were going mental, you were shouting, you were really being quite an unpleasant character. But
well, it's
the mic's come on, Rick, and you're you're a charmer.
Funny how people get annoyed.
Carl said that we don't have to be here next week if Andrew gets annoyed. I went, this is entertainment. He pays us to entertain. We haven't done anything against the law yet, have we? Or offensive, or against the radio authority. Carl said crap, but I think we'll get away with that.
Yeah.
So what is there to worry about? Exactly.
Right, let's just draw a line under the beginning
let's start again.
Seriously.
Come on.
Can we just hug and make up? Can we just have a big kiss?
Yeah, come on. No, don't do that. Just, Carl, what have we got?
What's on the list? We've done swearing, that's sorted out.
Well, no, your point was more that weren't you interested in why swearing people find it offensive?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because that seems obvious to me.
Because you were saying yesterday that you never understood why people find it offensive, weren't you?
That's right. Yeah. But I know.
Well,
yeah,
carry on.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying to you, why you can't do it on the radio, because people find it offensive for some reason. I don't agree with it, but some people do.
Yeah.
I'm saying everyone swears.
Bleep it out, I would. Bleep it out. Bleep it out, that's my theory.
But you say that everyone swears. Not everyone does swear. I don't know why you've got this in your head, that everyone swears.
I'm convinced. Everyone.
What? Everyone? Like, religious people, religious leaders?
Jesus. I bet Jesus swore.
Right. What's your evidence for that?
No, I'm just thinking, things are better now than they were back then. Right? He's wandering about in his sandals, getting pebbles stuck in there and stuff, and that's annoying. Nails in his hand, that must have hurt. What I'm saying is
that's offensive.
No, it's not though.
That's blasphemous.
No, but what I'm
don't laugh at the crucifixion. Play a record.
I'm not laughing at that though.
That is terrible.
I'm just saying.
No, you can email in if you want to complain. Carl.
Yeah.
.pilkington@xfm.co.uk.
Wasn't offensive though. I'm just saying it's a fact. When you stub your little toe, you let out a little effing and jeffing.
And what do you think is he? It's an effing and jeffing. So the kind of ancient Hebrew version of effing and jeffing.
Ooh, I'm worried about this. This is naughty.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
When did you start swearing?
I started swearing at school.
Right.
I hope you haven't offended any Christians.
Right, there's a lad at my school, right, who got caught swearing. I got caught and I got...
When you say get caught, what was it? You were right behind the bike sheds having a swear.
Have you got any MF? Yeah. No, I've only got one C left, it's my dad's. Oh, come on, let's have a go on it. Let's say hunt.
Yeah.
Let me say the hunt.
No. Get the older kids to buy you some swearing.
Look, just smoke it down to the cut.
Yeah. So you're right there, you're behind the bike sheds having a swear.
Yeah. And a teacher hears him say, like, the S word.
The S word.
The S word.
Well,
yeah.
So, the way this teacher dealt with it, he said, right, it's not a clever word to use, and he tried to make him get sick of using it he had to write an essay using that word 300 times, right?
Yeah.
So
I would have loved that.
But
I
that's
would have
just
loved
practice
that.
for a kid.
But that is like the father catching the kid with a cigar
And making him smoke it all the way through.
Yeah. Doesn't work with heroin if you've got a young teenager who's jacked up for the first time.
Yeah.
It can be dangerous.
The funny thing is, though, right, his mum found his textbook,
Of course.
thought he was depressed and wanted to take him counselling. Because everything was S. He was writing down, this is...
And did
And
it
that's-
work? Did it wean him
Nah,
off?
did it?
Yeah.
The teacher, I mean, he disappeared. He got kicked out for hitting a kid on the head with a bit of wood. So
It wasn't you, was it? That was not.
Longview, further. That's great, that.
It's a good tune. Can
On
I just give a
XFM.
big shout out, Rick?
Go on.
To John Kay. He's listening online in Los Angeles, City of Angels.
Brilliant.
It's his first time listening to the show. Who knows what he's making of it? I wonder if we should explain
He's
what
up- he's-
Carl is to him.
He's up early.
Well, he's got up apparently to record it, and then he's gone back to bed.
Oh, right. So
he'll
he's
be
listening to it
listening
any
to this
time. So, oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Carl,
Can you explain what he is?
well, he's a little bit of a grumpy, spoiled, lazy prat at the moment.
Oh, I think that's
but
fantastic.
usually he's quite a funny, nice, sort of genuine guy who's in awe of the world if it's furry and doesn't really care if it isn't. But,
Anyway, we're all one big happy family. You all
come
right?
on, Carl, attitude up. Happy. Happy. If we're happy, the listener is happy.
We were talking about schools, swearing, kids at school. I just remember at school, loads of my friends now are becoming teachers.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it must be like in an environment with kids. Because when we were at school, I mean, not particularly me, but lots of people in the class, and you'd all end up doing it, would just treat teachers like they weren't humans, like they were just creatures from another planet
kids
that were
are
there to be
cruel
tormented.
because, yeah,
and-
it's a game, isn't it, to see how far you can wind someone up to distraction.
But is it, but
And
is
most
it-
people grow out of that.
But is it because not everyone, but especially they've got a bit of cash in their pocket now and a little bit of success, they tend to think that gives them license to treat people badly. It's terrible. But I remember there was a guy. This is such a terrible story. There was a teacher. He came in and he was teaching us. And one kid, one of the hard nuts, he'd found out that this he lived on his own and he had a cat, and the cat got run over. And so we got in early. Like everyone was in early, and before the teacher came in, and this kid drew a picture of a cat being run over by a car in chalk on the blackboard, a huge picture of it. And the teacher just came in, saw it, burst into tears, and ran out. And the thing is, that was like the beginning of term, so he could never get us back after that. There was never going to be any respect for him. It was
Because you
just.
cry, I know, yeah.
It's just like I just remember now thinking about it, just thinking. I mean, at the time I remember thinking it was bad, but now it's just heartbreaking. It's devastating.
I know.
It's just
If they
so-
just forget, they'd let their guard down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Did you ever do
get
the
them
one where
onto
you
sort
just just humming?
Yeah.
And everyone, and he'd tell us to stop it, and then everyone would just go.
We used to, there was one teacher, me and my mate used to go up to and just, when we saw the other one, just sort of sniff him slightly, and then sort of like, so he goes, what? I go, nothing. And he'd walk away sniffing his armpit.
But those kind of mind games, it's like.
I know. Once,
Incredible.
right, I was talking about this in the week, actually. We had this, teacher, and he must have been sort of 60 then, right? And we're all about sort of like 12. We had to do French. You had to put your thing on the booth, and it was I told you something. Le chat est you know, and all that, right? And
What does that mean?
répété, cats on the wall, right? And he'd repeat it in French, and of course everyone was going F. C, just for fun, and he heard this, and he listened back to all of them, and he realised it goes, and he went mental. He went, I don't believe this. Do you know how much these cost? He was going mad, and he was going red and bursting like Carl was earlier, and it was like, I can't stand this anymore. Anyway, he picked up an exercise book, said, look at this exercise book, look, and I won't say the kid's name. He went, so and so, look, oh look, he's put. And I'll change his name. Smithers. He went, oh look, he's put Smithers is shit. Oh, he goes, oh, he's got Clever on this side. He's put Smithers is a lump of shit. That's good, right? And he went berserk. He went, oh look, he's drawn a picture of a penis with wings, and he's written underneath Dicky Bird. He went, is that clever? He went, do you want me to put a piece of paper up so you can come and write swear words and draw ladies' genitals all day? And I went, like that laughed. He went, I'm glad you think it's funny, Mr. Gervais. And he stormed out.
Oh God!
Yeah.
And did he ever come back?
No, but we put the bit of paper up for him and said, look what we've done, you sir. That's a fanny.
Yeah.
There's some knobs. Yeah.
Was it biology?
No, it was French.
Oh, French, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I just remember things like games like, there was some cupboards at the back of one of the I think the maths class, and one kid just got in the cupboard before the teacher came, and then sat in there for like 45 minutes, and just towards the end of the thing just came out.
Brilliant.
Just came out and just went, oh, and sat down, and just things like that, which just kind of. It's not. I don't know what it is. Or I don't know what. It's just an utter lack of respect.
I played a trick like that once in my first year at college. This is pathetic, right? We're on a hall of residence, right? And there was this woman, sort of middle-aged woman, come around in a twin set, and I think she was from a bank where she was doing students going to do a bank account, and we knew she was coming up the corridor and she was not right, and so my mate got in my wardrobe in this little room. Right? Just sat there, she came and I said, have you banked? I said, yeah, I banked. I said, okay, can I just do it? And there was a knock on the wardrobe, I went, come in. And he just came out and I went, alright, and he'd left. Right? And she just looked at me and I started laughing, I went, sorry. She went, you're not interested? I went, no. But it just fell flat. It fell flat.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Carl, a little bit happier now?
Yeah. I'm happy.
What have you done this week?
Doesn't bother me that.
What have you done this week?
Doesn't bother me that.
Carl, answer the question to the producer. What have you done this week?
A few things.
Oh, it's funny, right? Because when he's moaning about, I was telling him about I'd caught him out. He says he doesn't get a lunch break. He had over an hour, and then he went. I think he went quite early that night to get a hob that hadn't been delivered or something. So, and I said to was it James Hyman was it, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
And I said, James, he's always complaining about working. Does he work hard? And he went, well. He doesn't work as hard as he used to. Play a record, Carl, will you?
Interesting.
Don't want to really hit the start button now. I might do it in a bit lazy.
I'm not saying you're lazy. I'm saying, maybe some people don't think you work as hard as you do. That's the way of the world. I'm not saying you don't work hard. Just reporting speech, really, on James Hyman. Calling him a liar. Play a record.
Can't be bothered.
Play a record, Carl.
I reckon we could do this all the way through Billy Bragg.
Play a record, no, let's not ruin it. It's not Billy Bragg's fault.
No, not that. He's written some good tunes, old Billy Bragg.
Yes.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Waiting for the great leap forward.
What station are we on?
XFM 104.9.
Yeah, with Karl Pilkington. Carl, what do you think of it so far?
What? This today?
You weren't up for it, and now it's turned out great, and are you a little bit happier?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Good. Just talking earlier about teachers, weren't they? Have you got any amusing anecdotes about teachers or anything around that subject?
I didn't go to school that much.
Go on.
When I did, it was, I was telling Suzanne about it the other day how she goes out with me now and she thinks I'm great. She's lucky what she's got. No, she's done well.
Yeah.
Right? But I was the sort of kid who she would have hated at school because I never had, like, a pen.
Oh, yeah, I know what the sort you are. Never a pencil case or any stuff?
I'd start off the term, I would. I'd have, like, a brand new carrier bag with my stuff in.
Brand new carrier bag, classy.
And,
well, you've got to have somewhere to put the stuff you've nicked from Woolworths in, haven't you?
Right, so that'd be there. But then by the time, like, a couple of weeks down, I'd put my pen down, I would have lost it, and then I'm sort of going around saying, can I borrow a pen?
You didn't try sticking it up your nose, it's not still lodged up there.
It's not, no. But the funny thing with, like, you were talking about teachers and stuff.
Were you disruptive? Were you a disruptive kid? Were
Not
you
really.
Causing trouble?
No, not really.
He wouldn't cause trouble. He's terrified of the boss here, isn't he?
No, it's not that. It's just that, what's the point in winding people up? I find it quite annoying if people do that. So I don't wish it upon anyone else.
Why would you wind Steve up then?
I don't wind him up.
You do. You have done, but no, come on, let's not argue. We were getting on well then. Come on, Carl.
And, like, the teachers, because I'd lived on this estate, right, loads of stuff used to get nicked and go missing and what have you.
Blackboards,
and
desks.
their way, no, like the telly and the video. Telly video
really?
and stuff like that. And the projector thing and all that. So the way they used to try and find it, right, my little conspiracy, because I'm good at them.
Yeah, yeah.
What they used to do is set your own work and say, right, draw like a bird's eye view of your house. Right? But draw everything you've got in your house in it as well. So if you've got, I don't know, if you've got anything in the loft, make sure you draw it.
Right. So kids would come in with overhead projectors.
Well, that was the idea, I think, behind
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anti-aircraft guns in the sheds.
So the picture you did for your home, presumably
got nothing from me.
Nothing.
I didn't do it.
I'm not. He used to hand it in, empty house, I'm not a grass.
Yeah.
And nor the illegal immigrants living in the
Just
kitchen.
a picture of your Auntie Nora.
Yeah. What's that? Is that, have you been
tennis ball?
stealing tennis balls?
Yeah.
No, that's not a split tennis ball. That's my Auntie Nora's.
But what about all the stuff? Didn't you have to draw all the stuff that your father had nicked? All the stuff, you know.
Listen, we're doing Songs of Phrase today, because Rockbusters has gone.
What songs of phrase again? I can't remember. I think I've blanked it out.
Yeah.
When we do, something that's been said a few times on the show.
Right.
It's been said a few times. Quack! I'm scared of Andrew Phillips. Quack! I need my job. Quack! Go on, sorry, you were speaking, Carl.
So we take a phrase from the show, right, and just get songs, like the words from the songs, edit them together so
Something
it says
like
that phrase. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, go on. Sorry, go on, Carl. Come on.
So are we doing it?
Sorry, so what's the phrase you've come up with?
The phrase is no more cheeky freak of the week.
No
more cheeky freak of the week. Is there not? We're not having that anymore.
Well, no, because it's offensive, and if we're worried about offending people, to talk about people with disabilities,
well, yeah, but that's
like
what
conjoined
annoys me.
twins and women who are born with like deformed legs, and you call them dog woman. So you know, you've got to be careful. You've already insulted Christ. Let's not do disability. Let's do songs of phrase, shall we?
Cheeky freak of the week was never out to offend anyone.
No,
it was to make you realise how
we don't
lucky.
try and offend people. We try and entertain them.
Right. Do you know the funny thing is? Right. You're saying about being cruel about people and stuff. It goes on all the time. On the news the other night, do you know those Siamese twins that didn't make it through the operation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And this is why I'm stopping it, because I don't want people to think we're having a go at disabled people and stuff, right? On the news, right?
Yes.
Before that operation, the doctors said, we're going to try and sort this out. All the doctors are going to get their heads together. Is that a good phrase to use?
Yeah. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Carl, play a record.
No, I'm
Play
just...
a record.
Are you offended, Rick? Are you offended, Ricky Gervais?
You're the one that's
Yeah, but I'm saying, we're not out to offend anyone, yet it's always going on. People are always having a go.
Entertain. Please don't bring it down. Play a record.
No, I hate him.
Darkness. Growing on me.
You love the darkness, don't you?
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see him. They were doing a
I like their album
HMV
as well.
thing. Is it
People
good?
have told me it's a bit too jokey or
Yeah.
a bit too tongue-in-cheek, but it isn't really. If you don't know that, it sounds great. It just sounds like sort of retro 70s rock. It's great. I think it's brilliant.
It's nice to have rock back. I think you'll agree.
And big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High five, man. High five.
Yeah. Sweet.
Sweet, mate, sweet. Songs of Phrase. It's the mighty return of Songs of Phrase. No one has requested that. It's not due to public appearance.
A lot of people have requested some swearing.
They have indeed. But
We had a lot of emails for that. But go on, Carl.
And remind us again what exactly Songs of Phrase is and why we should care.
It's just a phrase that we take from the show, make up by taking words out of a song, edited it together. Right? The phrase that we're doing is no more cheeky freak of the week.
No more cheeky freak
It sounds
of the week.
like this.
No more cheeky freak of the week.
Right? So
No, that's nigh on impossible.
Play again.
you got
Play again. I
email
didn't hear
in.
that.
You got to email in with all the songs that you can hear there. Right? I think there's 5 songs.
And we
in
just want
total.
the names of the songs?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
Right.
Should we just hear it again?
No more cheeky freak of the week.
Right?
Yeah, that's
It is
possible.
good. It's probably one of the best you've done. It's very tricky though. I mean,
That's not too tricky. Play it again.
No more cheeky freak of the week.
how many have you got? Do you think, Rick? Just
Well, I've noticed the same person singing twice.
Is that right,
In a
Paul?
band and solo.
Yeah.
And I know one
I
track
think-
straight away from the word.
Can I just say, I do think naming the songs is a bit tricky. Let's just name the artists. Is that all right?
What's the artist?
Just the artists. Just change the rules slightly.
Yeah.
Before we play it again, just let you know what the prizes are. We've got on DVD Later with Jules Holland, Louder. Lots of the alternative acts he's had on there.
Brilliant.
A DVD, there, a couple of DVDs.
With
Rolling
Boogie
Stone.
Woogie piano over the top.
Let's hope so.
Brilliant. I can't
Keith and Mary
wait.
Chain are on there, Stereophonics. We've got Sonic Youth, Ash, Hole, Queens of the Stone Age, Foo Fighters, quite good. Once again, Cruise of the Gods on DVD, starring Rob Brydon and Steve Steve Coogan. That was on at Christmas. It's not bad.
It's not the same one. They haven't been sending that back. We've been giving out different ones each
We
week.
have indeed. This is an album just called quite simply I Love You.
Yeah.
And you'll be pleased because there's the likes of Mel C, Cliff Richard and the Hollies on there.
Brilliant.
Excellent. The best chill out album ever. We've got the Beach Boys on there, Elvis Costello, Pink Floyd, Coldplay. That's not bad. And this is the one that's most interesting, I think, the American Song Poem Anthology. I've not heard it yet, but apparently, I think what it is an anthology of recordings that were made apparently in, I think, maybe 50s or 60s America. There was a particular organisation, you could send in songs or lyrics that you'd written at home and they would send it to music and record it for you. And this is a compilation of them. So obviously there's some quite idiosyncratic and odd little things on there. I think it's probably worth a listen. So not bad prizes at all, Carl. Let's play it again.
No more cheeky recovery.
Well, we've started that going.
Just the artists then, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Once more, Carl.
No more cheeky recovery.
See, it's great.
Yeah, not bad at all. A little bit of Elbow. Nice to hear them again. This is the one Red. XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais.
Sure.
Elbow and Red. Good tune.
The old Spanish archer. Right?
Yeah, Elbow. Oh, sorry, you've lost me. I wasn't listening.
Elbow.
Elbow.
Alright?
Sony award-winning from Ricky Gervais.
Well, we're not allowed to do anything.
Sure, a bit
Andrew likes those sort of things.
Rick, I can tell you now that the answers to songs of phrase are quite literally dribbling in. I think there's 2, maybe 3 answers so far. So, very excited about that. And we just had an email from Dan. He says, my Mrs. Lynn is pregnant and is 8 days overdue. Carl, could you offer any words of encouragement to coax the baby down the birth canal? I've sat Lynn only inches away from the speaker to allow optimum audio transfer to the uterus. What would you say to that child there, just to lure it out to the wide world, Carl?
I wouldn't rush out, to be honest.
Right.
It's not good, is it? Out here.
Sure.
And I don't really want to talk about kids either, because Suzanne's mate's just had one and now she wants one.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Please never bring a child into the world, Carl. Promise us that.
They just bore me. Have you seen, there's loads of people in the office who have got them now and they've all got baby pictures everywhere and they're all like, isn't it nice looking? And it's like, no, it's not. They all look the same. Do you know what I mean?
All like Mel Smith.
Just,
Don't they?
but it's that theory, actually, right? Do you know how I've said before about babies, right,
Yeah.
but like little old people?
Yeah.
There was, no,
Another of the great theories.
no, the fact that, you know, you're born and you sort of, you know, you got no teeth, you got a little bald head, you can't control your bodily functions and that.
Sure.
Then you get to like
Sorry,
70.
you're describing yourself? or
Yeah, I was saying, you've got a dangerous
No,
ground,
I'm
aren't
just
you?
saying, that's how you're born.
Yep.
Then you get to about 70 or whatever.
Yeah.
All that starts to happen again, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there was a story in America about, just backing this up again, 70-year-old fella,
70-year-old fella. Okay.
little bald head,
Yeah.
right? Probably no teeth, and that.
Probably, yeah.
Nappy and that, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Goes
It's not
into,
like 70-year-olds pop the old nappy on your 70th birthday, take your teeth out.
Goes into an off-licence to get some beer, doesn't get served because they didn't think he was old enough.
Right. Okay. Right, okay.
Wait a minute.
Right, Carl's back.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm
Sorry.
okay.
So they thought he was
Right,
a
okay, forget
giant
it.
baby that had walked into an
Forget
off-licence.
it.
Weird, innit?
Steve, forget it.
Carl, please. I
Forget
need
it.
Carl to answer.
No, I mean, that's the story, but it's weird, isn't it? That's
It's
what
not
I'm
true.
saying, it just backed up
The
my
guy
answer
in an
again.
off-licence thought that a giant baby had
A
waddled into an
70-year-old
off-licence.
wrinkled baby in an overcoat, stuck in Werther's Original, smoking a pipe and going, I can't believe it, the price is not the same as they were, right, was a small child.
Well,
Yeah, weird, isn't it? Play a record, you're an idiot.
well, what's happening with Songs of Phrase?
Forget it. Forget it,
No,
who
as
cares?
I say, the answers are dribbling in, and
Can we run this radio station for a week?
Yeah, but the thing is, if we genuinely wanted to do a good job at that, we'd have to fire ourselves straight away.
No, do you know what I mean, though? Just sort out the playlist, let DJs, you know what I mean? Sort out what can be said and what can't. Just for 1 week. Yeah, see if we can give it a bit of shall we?
So what would you do?
I don't know, does the phrase pissing in the wind mean anything to you?
Well, I know, yeah. Well, are we going to even meet this week? Because it's, you know, we've wasted time pre-recording stuff that we can't put out. I don't know if it's
He's
worth...
still on that. He is still on it. I mean, to be honest, I've let it go, but he's still on it.
What else is on the list?
What list?
On the list, I said to you yesterday, let's sit down and have a chat.
I
Yeah.
thought I threw
What
that away.
stuff?
I thought it was just a piece of crap.
There you go.
You can't say crap. You're saying...
You should have bleeped that.
I No, why don't you believe that? Why don't we pre-record the whole show, then we only have to come in once? What do you think of that, Carl?
Whatever.
Carl.
Steve, what are you doing with
I seriously think
Carl.
if we put out last week's show, would anyone know?
Carl.
Play a record. He's driving me mad now, Carl.
Carl.
Seriously, he's driving me mad.
Carl.
Press the button. Please.
Carl.
I'm sick of it.
Carl. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Stop. On XFM 104.9. I reckon we could run it for a week, just to do a few
Would you
little
want to
things.
bother though? I mean,
No, but I mean, just like, you know, have a look at the playlist a little bit. Get some.
another phrase, polishing a turd. I mean, that's just another one that springs to mind.
You allowed to say that, Carl?
What, turd?
Yeah.
I think so, that's alright.
Well, you said it, so you're the producer.
Yeah, that's alright.
Alright?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got it together. Capital.
Oh, now that's a classy station.
I came in the week to just check Carl out if he was here. He wasn't. He was out for about an hour or so. And, I heard in the lift, I don't know what DJ it was on, he just went and, he was talking about that little girl, Summer, who, went missing, but then she was just found reading a book. And I swear, right, I swear he went, and there's a lovely, lovely picture of her there, just reading a book. So, what a happy ending. It's a shame they don't all end like that.
Oh, God.
And he played a record.
What's his point?
Unbelievable.
What's that?
I don't know.
It's those people who think that they're being a little bit philosophical, a bit profound.
And then just everyone goes,
Thanks very much.
yeah.
I noticed in the story of Summer, the little girl that went missing, I don't know if you read that it mentioned her family. Now, it mentioned the father of the house. I don't know if it's her father or certainly the guy, the parent, the male parent. And it was something like, I think, I don't want to, libel him, but it was something like Paul, 24, and he's a graphic designer, recently changed his name to Dragon. I just wonder what exactly is that? How is he, her family is that, really?
Yeah.
I don't want to...
I'm always a little bit worried about people who change their name to
adults, certainly.
to something to really, really cool.
Yeah.
Because, Kevin Smethurst isn't, it's not sexy enough.
Exactly.
So I call myself Clint Iron.
Yeah.
What would you call yourself? Carl Pilkington, nothing wrong with that. It's quite a superhero's name. It's Pilkington.
When I was about 7, I wanted to be called Brett.
Yes. I can see why.
I don't know, I just had a mate who was called Brett, and I thought, that sounds good, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I'm quite happy with my name now.
Because Carl, I have to say, where does that come from, Carl? Because it's quite a rare name.
Told you, didn't I? My mum had a dream.
I forget this. What? Your mother had a dream?
She wasn't well, she had pneumonia or something, right?
Dear.
And, she had this dream while she was pregnant. That some doctor, sort of, she was going off to another place, she was going to die or something, and this doctor went, I can sort this out, I know what to do here. And she remembers on his name badge, it said Carl.
Really?
So when she had me, she said, right.
Call him Carl.
Dr. Carl.
Calling Dr. Pilkington. Calling Dr. Pilkington.
She hoped, I imagine, that you'd grow up to be like him in every way. Saving lives.
I've done alright for myself, I think.
Sure.
I'm alright.
Yeah.
This is what we were talking about, actually, weren't we? We were talking about the fact that you're quite proud of the fact that you've got no formal education, really, and yet you've pulled yourself up from the bootstraps.
Yeah, well, I know people who've got results from that and don't do anything.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
They're on the streets.
So I've used all my energy as I've got older rather than burning myself out as a kid.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know if that's advice.
Should we advise that to young kids out there?
Don't take exams, don't work at school, just, move away from Manchester and get a job on XFM.
They'll employ anyone.
Yeah, you get an hour's lunch break, you're away by 5:45. You
need no qualifications
and
to work for XFM.
Because you don't have to think for yourself, because your boss tells you what to do, you can have some time off to go shopping for hobs and shower units.
He's alright, he's a good boss.
Yeah, I know.
He'll let me have next Saturday off. He knows how tired I am.
How many Saturdays has he had off? He's going away again. He's had 2 holidays. He gets 26 holidays, 6 days a year. 26 days a year. It's unbelievable. He was sick because he put on wet trousers.
Yeah.
And now you're going down to Hastings. Are you leaving early? Because you left early last time, didn't you?
No, I wouldn't do that again.
Now, what are you going to Hastings for?
Just having a break. Listen, though, we were talking about depressing news, right? And with that kid and what have you.
Yeah.
You see that thing in the week? There was 3 bits of depressing news, right? There was 1, an old woman who swallowed a fork.
An old woman who swallowed a fork.
Yeah, did you see
She's
that?
dead, the dork.
An old woman swallowed a fork. So what did she swallowed a spoon?
Why did she, yeah, everyone knows you swallowed a spoon. When she swallowed a spoon.
What's her name? She swallowed a cockroach. Right.
Sorry, whoa, is this the old rhyme
Sorry,
now?
is this a rhyme that you've got slightly wrong?
No,
You've changed
what
dog for fork.
This is the truth, is it? This is what
Yeah.
you read?
Oh, no, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, never confuse the two. This is what you read on a spurious website
So that
mentalist
No, hang on, sorry,
emailed you.
just before you move on from that, there was an old woman who swallowed a cockroach.
Yeah.
And in order to get the cockroach out, she swallowed a fork?
It doesn't rhyme, but it's good.
She tries to get it out.
With a fork?
She went, what I forgot? I'm thinking she's in a kitchen.
Yeah.
That'll do. She grabs that, she tries to get it out, and she lets go of it. And it goes,
swallows a fork?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was in the paper.
The terrible thing was, it was a gardening fork. it was awful, you know. Or is that stupid? That'd be stupid if it was a gardening fork, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you what annoys me though with things like that. 'Cause
Me?
in the paper, it was, well, you do, and everyone knows that. Honestly, no. Right? You do me head in. People, the way people say it must be great working with him. Must be brilliant.
No one
It's not,
says
it's
that.
a nightmare.
Go
It's a
on,
nightmare.
get on with it. Go on
I
with
can't be
Carl.
bothered now. Let's just play a song.
Because I'm interested. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Seriously, I am.
Come
What was
back
the
after
story?
this.
No, let me finish the story. Come on.
Long links.
I'll tell you in a bit, 'cause
I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting so angry.
Alright, the player record up with his... Verve, unlucky man. That's for Carl, who is a lucky man. 2 hours every Saturday, yeah? Just a little bit of chat and laughter. Some great records. Alright? What are you going to Hastings for? Just to chill out?
yeah,
What are you going to do?
just chill out.
What specifically is in Hastings that's of interest to you? They having another battle?
Nothing, it's just cheap, isn't it? You can get a B&B for about 40 quid.
Sure.
The weather's good, so
Let's all
why
go.
not?
Yeah, why not? Do you want Ricky to come down with you?
No.
Right, okay.
Now, you were going to tell us something before we started winding you up.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the old man who was mistaken for a small child.
It was actually, the 70-year-old who they thought was underage.
Right, so then we got on to, right, so the old woman, I was saying, she ate a cockroach. Right?
She ate a cockroach, yes,
Yeah.
by mistake. How did she eat a cockroach? Why was there a
She was
cockroach?
cleaning up, she was cleaning up, it jumped in her mouth. Right.
So she immediately, the first thing she did was immediately grab a fork and plunge that down her throat.
Yeah. And
Well, no,
she-
maybe not immediately. I mean, she tried other methods. She tried plastic spoons, her fingers, maybe washing it out, maybe going, oh, I nearly swallowed a cockroach. Did she try that one? Ugh, how horrible.
Right, so anyway, the fork went down,
Yes.
and it's got this picture in the paper of, like, the X-ray, and you can see the fork just, like, going across like that.
Yeah. Wow.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was, where the fork was in her abdomen, was it? On X-ray?
Yeah.
Are you sure she swallowed it?
Yeah.
Sure she didn't just say that to the doctor? Like, how did it get in there? Have you got a fork inside you?
No, I know what you're getting
Yeah.
at, because I remember years ago, do you know Dr. Steele?
Do I know
on,
Dr. Steele?
Yeah, on, he does...
Is he
it him?
superhero?
The one on, Richard and Judy.
Right. What's he, a psychiatrist or the
He
resident
just
doctor?
pops in and
Is
I've
that
got
the
a
sort of
problem.
like the suave sort of...
He's not that smart.
I know the one
He's
you
just,
mean, yeah, I know the guy you
just a normal doctor fella.
Sure.
And, yeah, this was like in the 90s, and, Richard and Judy said, we got the doctor in again today. We're looking at things that, you know, have been inside people. And there's this one, right? Fella comes on, with an X-ray.
Yeah.
It's sat on a pint glass.
He
Well,
sat on a pint
Well,
glass.
Yeah.
that's what,
He hadn't, had
that's what he
he?
said.
Sat on a pint glass.
I remember that story that was published about the bloke, and this is the excuse he gave to a doctor when he had to go and have something removed. It was a bottle of sort of HB sauce or something up his. What word can we say in case
Well,
Andrew's
you
listening?
don't need to, you know, people know what you're saying.
Okay.
Right.
Rectum. Is that all right?
No, you didn't need to say it, but...
Well, no, he might as well. It's a medical term, isn't it? Doctors
Anyway.
say rectum, don't they?
Anyway.
So the doctor got it out, and the excuse he said he'd been shopping, been to Safeways, he brought his shopping home, and he popped the shopping on the on the front step, and he realised he's locked himself out. So he started to shimmy up the drain pipe, but his trousers and pants fell down while he was climbing, and he slipped and fell on the HB sauce bottle, right? And that was the note thing, right? And the doctor had put at the bottom on his notes, this would be somewhat more believable if Safeway sold their HP sauce with condoms already attached.
Well, I would be bizarre.
Why did he put a condom on it?
No idea.
To use it again on his chips. So he didn't just buy it to have a quick, you know.
Yeah.
He thought, well, I don't want to waste HP sauce.
Sure.
I mean, I use it at the arse, then I have it on the chips.
Safe sauce. I always practice safe sauce. Always have safe sauce.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, universally speaking on XFM 104.9, Steve.
I'm just going to make every single one of our listeners shrug and kind of give a who cares look by saying that after the ads, Songs of Phrase answers.
We've still got Monkey News, haven't we?
Oh, Monkey News as well, yeah. Helen, you're supposed to say something that will keep people listening during the advert.
Should we bring back the... No, can't do Cheeky Figure of the Week. Play some ads.
Blackalicious and Deception on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Karl Pilkington, Steve Merchant.
Well,
we were talking just before the ads about I think we're talking about objects being stuck up people's arses. Okay.
I think that was the
if
link.
Someone can just confirm that.
It was objet d'art.
Well, objet d'art.
Arceus. Objet d'art.
Objet d'art. Which maybe that's a new feature. Objet d'art.
Objet d'art.
Using objects you've stuck up your
French for stuffing stuff up your arse.
Yeah. But I remember when it's not really. It was just about objects and odd things in odd places. I used to work for a magazine when I lived in Bristol, and I remember the editor said to me once. He said, "Oh, we got half a page to fill. Do the usual. Phone up a hotel and ask them what the weirdest objects they've ever found left behind in a hotel room are." This was something they did every year. They just did they would phone up the local hotel, and I found out. I can only remember two of them, but they have stuck in my mind. These were found. I think it was the Marriott Hotel in Bristol. Yeah. They were found by cleaners. A chicken.
A live chicken.
Yeah, a live chicken in a hotel room, and that was just left behind. And a false leg. I mean, I don't know who leaves behind a false leg. I mean, presumably you'd notice if you didn't have your false leg, because you'd be lying on the floor. But I just remember, well, yeah, I don't know where else you'd find those two objects, except perhaps Paul McCartney's farm. But I've always thought to myself, who left behind a false leg?
Maybe the chicken pecked it off.
Yeah, well, possibly.
The person with it just like went and goes, so much different, I keep falling over.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and where's my chicken?
Yeah.
She probably called later and said, did the cleaners find chicken and a false leg? I'll check.
Yeah.
Hold on, have a look. We haven't had them handed in.
Yeah. I don't know, we get a lot of chickens and false legs left behind.
What was it like?
Yeah.
It was just a wooden thing with a foot. Has it got a foot on the end? Well, yeah. Yeah, we might have found it. It might be yours.
In pirate films, they always had the pirates would have the peg leg, which was just a piece of wood. There was no effort to make it look like a leg. I don't know why it didn't dawn on them then to make it look more like a leg. I mean, I don't know at what point. I quite like a big.
Do you know
I
why?
wouldn't really be that interested, but I'd be marginally interested to see the history of.
It was
peg
fashion
leg.
because they didn't wear long trousers then, so they all stopped to the knee. So why are you wearing long trousers? No reason. Let's have a look at your legs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more embarrassing, you see, if you hide it. Yeah. It's like they had a hook.
Yeah.
Why didn't they have a glove?
A hook is never a good idea. It's not a practical enough thing.
It is if you're abseiling between two buildings in a hurry, because then you can just use it straight down the wire.
But a hook is such a grotesque thing. I mean, because
I don't have a go at them.
But I mean, there's no one except that weird guy who's up in North London who's still got a hook for a hand.
Well, I think it is useful.
It's
good. Well, no, it's good for carrying
bags.
Yeah, carrying shopping.
Do you think that was the concern of pirates?
Well,
then Tesco.
Well, they didn't have like animatronic sort of stuff then, did they?
I know, but it's just so. I mean, if it's just not very flattering, is it? A hook. I mean,
James was at school with a kid who had lots of different things, like knife, fork, he could screw onto the end of it.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
That's good.
That's almost as good as having a hand.
Yeah. For the canteen.
But at school, you'd be the coolest kid in school, surely.
Bit more frightening in the swimming pool. Or in a bouncy castle.
Yeah.
But yeah, for chopping up a bit of,
I imagine him being banned from the bouncy castle at the fate. You can't let him on. Oi, Hooky, get off. You're not welcome on here.
Like to apologise for some of the things said in today's show.
But what happened when he started asking girls out and stuff? I imagine he spent a lot of time with his hands behind his back.
Oh God, with a sore spot on in one, probably, and
so
I can get it out with this one.
Yeah.
Doctor said, that's handy. There's a fella in Ward 2 that's got a shopping
We should
bag
put
up
you
his
two
arse.
together.
Just pop it up there, pull it out, shopping intact, done.
Anyway,
Hastings
answers
soon.
to Rockbusters.
It's going to Hastings in 10 minutes, isn't you?
Can't wait.
He's looking forward to it. Lovely day, lovely town, nice little trip. Chill out, come back refreshed. Monday. Let's do some work. Ooh, you'll sleep tonight.
What does the boss want me to do?
He's done you there, Carl. I was letting it lie, and he comes back with that after we were getting on.
So, who's the winner?
Answers. Well, let's give us the answers first.
Right, well,
This was
this is how it sounded.
It's not Rockbusters. I'm calling it Rockbusters because
No
I
more, no
Well, it's
more
all weird.
cheeky
they're all
girls.
interchangeable in my mind.
No more cheeky recovery.
Right, Paul McCartney, Cheeky Girls, Sugar Babes, Space and Beatles.
Okay.
Right.
Brilliant. You've really, I mean, if you're not interested in it, Carl, seriously, mate. Anyway, we're going to give the prizes, which were pretty good this week, to James Waters from Colchester. Well done to him. He's got them pretty much right.
Where's Dickie Anderson?
Not heard from Dickie Anders for a long, long
Because I
time.
wanted to. If there's one show I'd wanted to hear, it's this one. Because we've pulled out some of the stops now, haven't we? He's excited because he's going away, so he's putting an extra bit of. Come on, let's play a record.
Let's play a tune, then let's come out with Monkey News. Can we have some Monkey News to end with? Yeah, he's excited.
Placebo in this picture on XFM 104.9. 8 minutes to go. Let's make it a good 8 minutes, and then we can all chill out. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Play the jingle.
Chimpanzee that monkey news.
Excellent. A particularly aggressive jingle this week.
Wow,
Yeah, looking forward to this Monkey News.
Carl.
Right.
Come on.
So, what's the name?
What?
We've done,
Sorry, what?
Brilliant.
we've done a lot of monkeys who, like, got involved in crime and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We had, the one on the train station,
Yeah.
nicking a bag.
Yeah.
We had the one who went
Don't
into a
remember that
bank.
Who cares?
Went into a bank. And walked out with the money and stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Didn't happen either. Next.
But the thing is, you never sort of found out what happened to them. If they sort of got worse, got more involved into crime
Just
and
monkey
stuff.
news update.
That would be amazing.
Brilliant.
What they found out in India is,
Yeah.
they've got a prison. It's just for monkeys.
You mean wild animals? You mean
A zoo?
Yeah, a zoo or a kennel or
No.
something that where it's been gone mental or something.
No, it's a prison.
Yeah,
It's a prison.
is it? Does it have fraud cases?
It's got. It's mainly,
Mainly sort of animals that are attacked things. It's mainly violence, I bet. That's my.
that and theft.
Say it
Nicking
again.
Stuff. Theft.
Say it again.
Theft.
Say it again.
Robbing.
No, let's go back to that word. We're going to keep doing it. We've got 6
Robbing.
minutes. You're going to say the word right before you go to Hastings.
Well, you say it.
No,
Well, no,
say
because
it
then you'll know how
first.
to say it.
Well, all right, robbing then. It's been caught robbing.
Say it again, though.
So
Who's
anyway.
robbing? Who's robbing?
So they've got this prison,
This
right?
is extraordinary.
Say it again.
No, you're not going to say it?
Oh, go on then.
So they got a prison for them, right? And there's 11 of them in there, 11 monkeys
Right.
that are in there for life. Because that's, I think there's one just got out on parole, right?
No time off
But
for
there's
the
11, I'll give you the bit of paper because I thought this was...
Weird.
Now,
Even
what-
you thought it was a bit weird.
Now, Carl, what are they in there for, then? Because, I mean, they're in there for life, so I'm assuming it's murder, is it? Premeditated murder? They're not crime bosses, are they? They're not...
Are they
into
the-
kind
are
of
they the-
prostitution and
Are
gambling.
you sure they're not
racketeering?
just the pawns and the head sort of like orangutans up a tree going, remember, you don't know me. You're on your own.
If I go down, you're all
Yeah.
coming with me.
You take some of your gorillas down there and sort him out.
Oh, the great banana robbery.
It's
I wondered if they'd get them.
Right, go on then.
Okay, let me see. Now, I don't know what source this is, as ever.
Is it just the back of a fag packet found in a toilet?
Well, no, I mean, someone's clearly... If this is nonsense, then someone's clearly gone to a lot of effort, because it does open with the headline, "Parole unlikely for inmates of monkey prison."
Yeah.
Officials say 11 inmates at India's only monkey jail. Officials? Now, what kind of people work at a monkey jail? Where do you work? It says officials say 11 inmates at India's only monkey jail are unlikely to ever be released. The prison in Patilia houses monkeys apprehended by game wardens in Punjab state for thieving and attacking people. The Daily Telegraph reports how the monkeys at the prison in Montebello snarl and glare at visitors from their heavily barred cages. 2 monkeys were released a year ago after exhibiting good behaviour for 18 months in the jail. They have remained out of trouble. Prison can work, that's good.
So
all 11 monkeys...
they were aggressive wild animals that were taken away from the public for their own good.
And Robin and that.
Wildlife officials believe part of the problem has been caused by thieves training monkeys to help them. Lorry drivers training monkeys as guards for vehicles, and itinerant entertainers using ill-treated monkeys as part of their act.
It's the monkey that takes the rap.
It's a shame, that, isn't it?
That is awful. They didn't know what they were doing, did they?
Oh, so there you go.
What do you think of that, though, Carl? What would you if you could visit them, like Lord Longford or something? What would you say to them? You go there and you get a visit a week or something. You know.
So can you get us a video? Alright.
Do they get conjugal rights?
Do you reckon? You wouldn't be interested in that, though, would you?
They get what?
Would you be happy to give them their conjugal rights?
Yeah, would you?
Fair enough.
Alright.
Off to Hastings.
Off you
See you
go.
later.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Breakdown, and that's for Carl's behaviour last week. Carl, you seem to be a little bit happier. Last week, I mean, we were worried about you. You sort of slipped into some sort of, like, weird depression. You played placebo twice, so you weren't concentrating. I know what you're going to say, that me and Steve were annoying you, but, you know, that's an easy excuse. I mean, I think the listener can make up their own minds.
No. It's just like I say, though, it's like a murderer. Right? He might not have done that if it was a different day, if the sun was out or whatever, and everything just happened at once that wound me up.
Right, so it was like a crime of passion. You'd be let off because those sort of you'd never put yourself, say, in a position again where we'd have 2 people trying to wind you up for, you know, the sake of fun and laughter for the public on a tin pot radio station between 1 and 3 every Saturday. Yeah, but you'd never do that again, would you?
Last week it wasn't just for the listeners, it was for you as well, between 12 and 1. Before we were even on the air.
Why?
You were winding me up then, do you know what I mean?
Having a discussion.
It's alright, I'm used to it now, I'm used to it, so it doesn't matter. But I found out that I can't do this job anymore, I can't do these sort of jobs where you've got to be happy all the time.
Well, you don't have to be happy all the time.
Oh, you do,
You
really.
forget that for the...
Yeah, but I can't. Do you know what I mean? I've got things going on in my head. And
do you think when Bobby Davros had a bad day that he doesn't go on stage and give 100%?
No, but that's
do you think Les Dennis let all that stuff get in his way when he did that theatre tour to the people in front?
Sometimes he had audiences of 7, 15 people.
Yeah, and he just went, it's them. It's not a private life. Forget that. Bang.
Yeah, but good on him. Yeah. He can do that. But what I'm saying is I can't.
He's a professional.
So I was talking to Suzanne about it because, you know, it did get me down last week.
Suzanne's your therapist?
Minder.
Yeah.
Saying to her, you know, I can't do this sort of job. Normally what I do in the week, you know, I'm tucked away in a studio. If I'm annoyed, no one knows about it. I get my head down, I get on with it.
Wait, do you tell him? Go on. Next.
You know what I mean?
Next.
Right, yeah, but sorry, but what's your point here? So every Saturday you've got to come here, you've got to
be happy, we've got to go, oh, Carl, are you alright? Oh, you're right, your hair looks nice.
No, but, you know what I mean? That's the first time, innit? Normally people listening go, he's a happy fella, do you know what I mean?
They never think you're a happy fella, Carl. Well. They've never heard you laugh. No one has ever... seriously, we get emails all the time, no one's ever heard you laugh.
Yeah, but I'm still happy, you don't have to...
Well, are you?
Yeah.
You don't look happy.
But anyway, that's the problem with this job. And, I was thinking about it, if... do you know, like, if you're a doctor...
Sure.
And... you're on a plane and something happens.
Yeah.
Even though you're on holiday.
Yeah.
You might have to save someone's life just because you can. Next!
And I'd be thinking, I'll keep quiet.
Sure.
I love that! Yeah. See, that's one of the reasons why you didn't actually qualify.
as a surgeon.
I mean, you can still do your consultancy stuff.
Oh, sure,
but, you know, you just don't actually want the knife in your hand anymore. Brilliant. So you're giving this up, are you?
Sorry, and how is a doctor on a plane comparable to this?
Because that is just the same situation. Do you know what I mean? He's probably got in his head, he's shut off, he's ready for his holiday.
He's going to Hastings for a night.
Someone, you know, has a little bit of tummy trouble or heart attack or whatever.
Yeah.
And is he a doctor on the plane? And he's like, oh, jeez, going on holiday. Do you know what I mean?
God, I've got to loosen his tie.
Yeah.
I can't do
But what I
that.
don't understand, Carl, is you get paid to do this. It's not like we're forced. It's not like it's your holiday. You know that this is your job of work.
This is paying for your new kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I've got the kitchen now. It's
Alright.
done, isn't it?
Right.
So
So when
job
you
done.
stopping?
When you're quitting.
Well, you're finishing, aren't you, in a couple of weeks for a bit?
No,
so-
about 4.
Yeah, yeah,
We
about
finish
4
on the
weeks.
16th of August, yeah. But, we're only going away for like 6 or 7 weeks again, aren't we?
Well, you don't know, do you?
Well, we'll give up if you give up. Tell your managing directors that.
Well, that's a bit annoying.
Why?
Because you've just passed the book, haven't you?
I haven't passed the buck. This is three-way. You get your name in heat. You're in the title now. It's Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. And now you want to go? I don't want to do it anymore.
Carl, I
Think
don't know
about
whether
it. Think
I don't know
about
whether
it.
you've noticed, but we don't provide anything on this show. So if you leave, we have to go.
Well, let's put a song on.
Now
then.
just think. Don't be so
right,
selfish. Don't be so selfish.
Yeah.
We need you. We've got
Yeah.
nothing.
Think
Hang
of
on.
the. Molly's Chambers, Kings of Leon. Brilliant. On XFM 104.9. So, I'm not going to put pressure on you, Carl. I know you're scared to be saying this, right? But, I'll tell you what we do, right? We're stopping this show on the 16th of August. We're going to film the Office specials, okay? And we'd be coming back, I don't know, August, September, mid-October.
Mhm.
If Carl does.
Yeah.
No, I know that's pressure, but that's it. I think it is. I think this is a three-way show, so you don't have to do it. What should we do? Because I know we've been approached by a couple of others. What would you do?
We've been approached by obviously better radio stations. I mean, just think of. I mean, if you're a listener, just think of any of the radio stations you prefer to listen to. That's some of the ones that have offered us gigs. So we could toy with those.
Or we stay and we see this through and we get XFM on the map. We get a few songs
I
next
know,
year.
Rick. That I know you've had a passion since you started working at XFM to get the listeners into double figures. I know that's been one of your ambitions, and I think it would be a shame to give up so soon because you've done so much hard work.
Yeah. That's for you to think about. I think so we've got what? We've got 4 weeks left. And that might be 4 weeks forever and never coming back, or 4 weeks for like an 8-week period. And that's for you to think about. So think if you enjoy the next 4 weeks, Carl.
Yeah, but like I said to you though, the reason I did this
Yeah.
was to get that kitchen, right? Now,
Brilliant.
as we speak now, right? Builder's in the flat. He's been annoying me.
Of course he has. Of course he has. What's he been doing?
When he turned up on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Wanders in, and the first thing he says to me is, said, the pub across the road, is it any good? I said, well, it doesn't matter, does it? You're working on the kitchen.
Think of saying that to a builder. Probably making conversation. Probably meant, do they do a toasted sandwich? Because I've got a half-hour lunch break, not an hour, like Karl Pilkington. So I'll pop in there and get a nice, cheese and tomato sandwich.
Is that
packet of crisps.
genuinely what you said to him?
Yeah.
The first thing you
Yeah,
said
so
to him?
Suzanne had to go at me saying, why have you said that? He hasn't even started on it yet.
I cannot believe that.
You're unbelievable, Carl. And you say it's us that are rude, crass,
I wasn't being
thoughtless.
rude. I just was letting him know. Do you know what I mean? I know what
He
they're up
knows
to.
what he was there for. He had it down on his little docket. Do the kitchen this week.
Yeah.
He didn't come there and go, what did I come out for? Was it to go to the pub for a week?
Why am I wearing these overalls?
Yeah. Who's the little bald mate twat insulting me? Let me just check. Let me call the head office.
I wasn't having a go though. I mean, they should have finished it yesterday, and they're
Yeah.
there now, right,
Yeah.
on their own. And what annoyed me is they turned up late today.
Hold on, Carl. I've just realised something. They're probably listening to the radio. That's, I assume, tuned to XFM, isn't it, in your kitchen?
Yeah, but they don't know it's me, do they? You know what I mean?
No. They'd go, he's got a whiny mank voice as well. So's the bloke who owns this place. And the bloke who owns this place, when I said, what's that pub like across the road, said, well, you won't be bothering that, he's working on this. No, he won't be able to put two and two together, will he? You've suddenly, the penny's dropped, doesn't it? You've suddenly realised, look at his face!
Yeah.
He's suddenly realised they might know it's him!
And they could be listening, and they're going to clean you out, mate.
Oh, if you are the builder, working in, where is it? I won't say the address, but it's,
Central London, isn't it?
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
mental. Have whatever you want.
Opposite
Seriously.
that pub that you
Yeah.
like, that you're,
He'll probably be in there now, so he won't be listening.
oh, insulting,
You know what I mean?
insulting a
Nothing further
British
insult.
workman.
He should
So
have been in
just go
today.
mental.
He should have been at 8 this morning,
Just
which annoyed
go
me anyway.
mental.
Why? I really don't understand why they've got to start so early, right?
Yeah.
But he said he'll be there for 8, turned up at 9:30, right? Wanders in, and what annoys me is, he could have left all this downstairs. He had a paper under his arm,
Yeah.
one of those crossword books, and a pot noodle. Now, I'm not being funny, but most of them take quite a bit of time. A crossword book, he's not happy with just the one that's in the paper.
If you're listening, if you are the builder that's listening now, doing Carl's flat, what about pissing in the laundry basket? Lonesome Day, Bruce Springsteen, on XFM 104.9. So, you've realised now that the builder could well be listening, knowing exactly who you're talking about.
There's a chance of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't think about it, but you're right, you know, was tuned onto that. I think he did flick it on, thinking about it, thinking back. If so, yeah, he's probably listening now.
No, he probably isn't. He probably listens about half hour. If he's got any sense, he turned it to Heart or Virgin or Magic or something, but, you know, there is a chance.
Good advice to the listeners.
Yeah.
If you've got any sense, if you finished your crossword puzzles.
I think, you know, according to our figures, there's a 5% chance of him listening to it.
Yeah.
So, if we want to be accurate. Although he isn't a house with it tuned to that, so I think it puts him right up to 50% straight away.
But then again, Ricky's got a job of work, so why would he be listening to this show?
Well, he's doing a crossword at the moment.
Yeah, well.
You better hope he's not listening.
Well, I mean, they do annoy me. I'm sticking by it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
come
about
on, you
builders.
might as well keep digging, yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying, they do annoy me, the way they wake you up at 8 and then...
Well, that's when they start work.
Because I told you, I mean...
Oh, we'll leave that one then. Yeah.
No, but it's like, the other day when they came in, I always like to test them, do you know what I mean? When I had some work done on the last flat that was in, right, that was renting, the builders were in, sorting the shower out and that. They woke me up about 7:30.
Yeah.
Right?
Were you in the shower?
No,
Good thing about cleaning this shower, there's never any hair down the plug hole.
Yeah.
Right. So, I left early to come to work, right?
Sure.
And I thought, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder if they have started. So I walked back to go back in. They'd left the flat and they were sat outside having a Starbucks. And it just annoys me that they couldn't do that first. Do you know what I mean? Have your breakfast first, then come and wake me up. But don't wake me up to then get me out of the flat and then say, right, let's go and have breakfast.
Well, they've probably
lads."
got to get in, haven't they?
What for? What for? They can put all the tools in the little lobby bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just winds me up.
Sure.
Now the thing is, the guy today who's doing the tiling, that's narrowed it down a bit more, right? When I knew he was in there, I went out for a bit, had a cup of tea and a bacon butty, right, at a cafe, and I went back and I was really quiet, put my key in the door and opened it really quick to see what he'd be doing, and he had actually started work, so fair play to him.
What if he'd just been exfoliating himself naked on the kitchen floor?
Yeah.
I'd say, right, caught you.
Don't use my
what I mean.
exfoliate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
Go
people
if you're
annoy
listening,
me.
go through the wardrobes upstairs.
Go
I
through the
think there's
wardrobe,
good
get some
up there.
stuff, yeah.
they won't get anything. I've put everything in places where they wouldn't think of looking. For jewellery and stuff.
So you're thinking that
Where
there's
have you put the jewellery? Where have you put the
Can't say, I'm not saying.
Go on.
So
No,
you're
no,
thinking that they're going to thieve from you as well?
Okay, so if you're
Yeah,
listening,
don't have a route, don't
don't think about the obvious places when you're looking for the jewellery.
No. But I do things, I would do things like, you know, just pop a little bit of urine, maybe in the salt cellar or something.
Yeah.
Just do some.
I'd say what I do is I take the toothbrushes in the bathroom, just pop them in the toilet, flush it, and then take them back again, just pop them back in there.
Leave them nothing. Leave them out. When they were coming last week, I brought the biscuits to work. Suzanne was like, "No wonder
didn't
you've got no
really?
mates."
You
No,
brought
I
your
did. I brought
biscuits into work.
No, it wasn't a tin. It was just a packet of good quality cookies.
Good quality cookies!
Yeah, you thought I'll be down if they're
Oh, God.
But that's what Suzanne always says. Don't know, you know, why you like this? Because you know, it's not as if you've been sort of harmed as a kid or anything.
But I like the fact that you once said to us that you don't need friends. You don't like friends because they're a bit of a pain. Because they call you up and they want to be with you.
Yeah, but mates are a hassle. I woke up today, right, and I think it was might have been on 5 Live or something this morning in the bedroom, right? And they were talking about how it's Nelson Mandela's birthday, 80 odd, 20,000 people turning up at his party. I thought, I'm glad I'm not in. I couldn't be dealing with that. 20,000 people.
Think of the carpet afterwards. I mean, a good percentage of them will putting out fag butts on his carpet. After Tommy Walsh and Charlie Dimmock, what's her name, did lovely patio and a water feature, he's gonna come back and he's gonna go, it's ruined.
And what's he doing for his birthday? Karaoke? Chinese meal? Bit of karaoke? I wonder what Nelson Mandela's birthday party is like.
Big cake.
Bit of an enormous cake.
Yeah.
The Spice Girls jumping out.
Yeah, the Spice Girls, isn't it? Well, everyone. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are the only three people that hasn't met him.
I thought everyone's file would have been in the cake.
Yeah, yeah. Just in case, you never know. And if Winnie calls, I'm not here. Have you not invited her? No, of course no, definitely not. Poor Nelson. Happy birthday.
How old is he?
85.
Oh, well done. Well done. No, God bless him. God bless him.
Oh.
85 today.
Oh.
Right, bit of songs of phrase next then, yeah?
Do you reckon?
Oh,
Well.
really? What's that one?
See you in a minute. Right.
Everybody says that they're looking for a shelter.
Silence is Easy by Star Sailor on XFM 104.9.
Sorry, just suddenly struck me something. I don't know if I mentioned it before. You mentioned that you tried to catch your guy out when you came back once. You opened the door really quickly to see what he was up to. Did I ever tell you when I was at university? Now, I'm very tall and I've got enormous feet. Size 14. Size 14 shoes. And when I was at university, everyone, it seemed to me, was wearing Dr. Martens. It was like you had to wear a pair of Dr. Martens. It was kind of the rule.
Dr. Martens was too big for you.
Yeah, so that's a big pair of Dr. Martens. That's where the myth of the old woman who lived in a shoe, I think,
I
came
know.
from, people with my size shoes. Anyway, I just literally kind of moved to university. I'd been there for like literally a couple of months. And obviously in that first period, you're quite keen to kind of, reinvent yourself, strike yourself, try and give an impression of perhaps being quite sophisticated, worldly, cool, all those things that, you've left behind all your childhood friends, so you're trying to, develop something.
But you didn't
new
bother,
persona.
you didn't?
What, sorry?
You didn't bother?
No, I was working hard on it, and I was kind of, I was doing alright, and I had my tie-dye shirt, and everything, I was looking good. And, so I was trying, working hard to try and seem kind of cool and, not freakish. And, I came back from studies once, and I came in, and there's a little old cleaning lady that kind of would always come in every day and clean up our halls of residence. And I came back, and my door of my room was open, and there was like a little huddle of people just peering in, right? And I thought, this is odd, that my door's open and I'm not in there, and there's people staring in the door. And I looked in, and the little cleaning lady had my Dr. Martens on and was clomping around,
Making them all laugh.
making them all laugh, doing an impression of me.
That's amazing.
Imagine that.
and that's
Imagine the psychological scars that has.
I love that she's more popular than you.
Yeah, exactly.
And they go, come on, Maud, let's go to the JCR.
Exactly.
Whee! And they carry her down. They go, drink, 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 drink. And she goes to you, Steve, you better have that spotless by the time I come back. And you go, alright, I will, alright.
But what I like is the fact that I'm sure that's not part of the cleaner's code. The cleaner's code is you don't have the keys to everyone's room so you can go through their belongings and play practical jokes. I mean, surely it's a kind of, there's a trust.
She must have looked like a wall bracket with a I went bowling with him once the first time, and we went bowling at this place. Where was it? Up in Finsbury Park. And I'd never been before. And he goes, "You got to wear special shoes." I went, "All right." He went, so and so. He goes, "Have you got size 14?" And she went, "Yeah, I've got one pair." And she put them on the table, and they look like crusty. Honestly, honestly, it looked like. It was. I just started laughing because they're so long and thin anyway, and they're multicoloured, aren't they? They're two colours, and it looked like Krusty's. It's Krusty the Clown's feet. And then this teacher just went, all right, 14. That is big, isn't it?
It is a huge size shoe. You're right. Yeah.
And it was just the one cleaner in them.
Just the one, sadly.
She did have loads of kids eventually and brought them up in there.
In there.
Well, we got songs of phrase,
Right,
haven't we?
songs of phrase then.
Okay, let's just have a look at the prizes. Let's just remind us again what exactly songs of phrase is, because I know a lot of people put it out of their mind week by week.
It's a phrase that's, been said on the show a few times. That's right.
Oh, but you remember classics like what was?
We've had hairy Chinese kid.
Yeah, there's this hairy Chinese kid.
Stop squeezing my head.
Carl, you're an idiot.
Carl, you're an idiot.
Some classic phrases.
Classic phrases. And so you use various old-time songs and you put them all together, and that spells out the phrase. Before we play that, let me tell you now, you can win. Look forward to this. What's this? The new album from the Star Spangles. That's called Bazooka.
Is that out, is it?
Never heard.
When's Bazooka out?
Never heard of them. Never heard of them. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. You've got the treats on there include the Fast Food Rockers and Laz Ketchup.
Yeah. I'm waiting for their second single, because I don't know what that's going to be about.
Sure.
Is it going to be a bit more fast food? Maybe like Pret a Manger?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
This is very good. Yeah, 2 disc set, the best of David Bowie. Inspiral Carpets, the best of them. Still don't know how they spring that over 3 seasons. No idea.
Bowie's is one.
Yeah. We mentioned it last week, the American Song Poem Anthology. That's kind of a kooky collection of songs. And we've also got a couple of DVDs here. Stephen King's Rose Red. I've never heard of it.
Straight to video.
Yeah, made for television.
Yeah. Will never be seen at the cinema.
And I'm sure there's a lot of nerdlingers listening, so they will be loving Richard Dean Anderson in Stargate SG-1. Free inside, there's a collector's card, plus you can win some exclusive memorabilia.
Brilliant.
So I think a pair of their...
Right, all you've got to do is listen to these, like, 13 songs, probably, to a well-known stupid phrase.
It's only seven different songs, right?
Well, just get the most you can. Just be rough. Artist or song, it'd do, right?
And the phrase is, about me dad nicking from, telephone boxes, right?
You got to give them a clue, because they've got to know what they're listening for. It's hard enough when you know. Daddy's never gonna stop robbing from telephone box. Is that it?
Yeah.
So what are these songs then? Go on in.
It doesn't matter that some people don't know what that's about, do they? Doesn't matter.
No, they're not. Well,
your father's a thief.
Email only. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Let's hear it.
All right.
From...
All right.
Also not grammatically correct.
No.
But, so it's Daddy never gonna stop robbing from telephone box.
Rubbish.
Unbelievable.
Play again. I think we just need the song. That's all we're after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the songs. Right.
From...
Just again?
Well,
This is a desperate feature,
It
isn't it?
really is awful. From... See, Rick, if we took more of an interest in this show, we'd have come in, listened to that,
We'd
and
have
said
said
we're not
no
going to play
way.
it.
We'd have said no way.
I don't
we're
care
doing
how long
that.
you spent on it.
We've got a reputation.
Yeah.
We've won awards.
We've won major awards. We're not putting that tat out. But
Yeah, no.
you know, that's what.
But we're just giving the listener what they're used to.
exactly.
So I think more fool them for listening.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Business on XFM 104.9.
Carl, can I ask? Because after last week's show, when you had your breakdown, you went off to Hastings with your girlfriend, stroke carer, Suzanne. Now, what does she... Because whenever we meet Suzanne, we bumped into Suzanne recently at the BBC, Ricky and I. She's always very nice to us, very polite, we have a nice little chat. But I'm always wondering, what is it that she thinks of us, really? You know, because I'm assuming you immediately go home and whinge.
No, but they tortured me. You saw they tortured me on air.
Now, what does she make of us?
Did she listen to the show last week?
Yeah, she did, yeah. She knew I was annoyed.
Right.
So, she sort of gave me a look like... You know what I mean? Like that, because we went to Hastings.
That wasn't because you had, like, Marmite or something over your face?
No, it was like... So we didn't talk for a bit, I just was like, getting over it.
Sure.
Thinking, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
Right? Is the new kitchen really worth it and all that?
I phoned him up, left a message after the show. I said, "You seemed a bit quiet when you left. I just want to make sure it wasn't anything I said."
Well, no one...
You're still doing your Samaritans work?
yeah. And did it ring, or did you just ignore it? Let it go to answer machine.
I think I turned it off. I left it off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just left it off all day and
But
that.
what does she make of us? Does she genuinely think... Does she not really like us?
It's weird, because there's no one who she doesn't really like, which annoys me, because she says to me, I'm the opposite, do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, everybody annoys you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but that's my choice, right?
Sure.
And that's why I don't bother getting mates and that, because
Sure.
it's just hassle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is, sometimes me being like that affects stuff that she wants to do, so, if a mate...
Like see her family and friends.
Well, let's not say her family or friends, but say if one of her mates had a baby,
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Naming no names.
So this happened.
well, I've just got to
You got to
watch what I'm doing, haven't I now? 'Cause, well,
The builder who knows you're slagging him off and saying he nicked stuff.
yeah. So, she's got a few mates who have had kids recently.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of them had a kid. Yeah. Go on.
Right. And, she wanted to go and see it, right? And she said, you can come with us. And I was like, you know what I feel about babies.
Sure, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
They all look like Mel Smith. Why do I need to see another one?
Yeah.
Right? And she's like, yeah, but come and see it. You know, you get on with them. Come and see them. And I was like, it's a long way away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's probably narrowed it down again.
Yeah.
To be honest. So, and that annoys her, because I can't be bothered. Do you know
What
I
did
mean?
you say? Did you say, oh no, I'm not coming to see him, I don't like
I'm not
him?
going all the way to Swindon.
What did she, did the, or Birmingham, or Cornwall.
Yeah,
well, you know who you are, if you had a baby,
Yeah,
sort of in the
but-
last
but-
time,
but-
and Carl
yeah.
didn't show up, and Suzanne said, what the excuse did she say? You were working or busy or?
No, well, to be fair, I was working, right? And they
Yeah.
are nice people and
Oh,
stuff.
now you're backtracking, because
No,
now,
I'm just
do
saying,
they
yeah.
listen?
Yeah,
Do they listen to the show?
They might do.
So you know they listen to the show. So once again, you've come up with an anecdote where the people who you've admitted to not liking to see their baby or
No,
care about
no,
them
no,
are
no.
listening to the show.
No.
Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe the builder's listening once
They're
again.
nice people, I like them.
Just
sound like their baby.
just sneeze in the chili pot.
When the kid's older, I'll go and see him.
Yeah.
It's just, do you know what I mean? When it's got its own little character. As a baby, it could be any baby. Do you know what I mean? It's got nothing to offer me.
I know what you mean.
It could be a toy baby.
But you know what I mean?
It could be a
It's
bag of sugar.
No, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
When it can start talking and, you know.
And lend
Play
you
around
money.
with it.
yeah. yeah.
Got good toys and stuff. It's well worth
Yeah.
going, but at the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah, nothing.
I'll see it when it's about
So you go,
6.
oh, you want to go? Yeah, brilliant. Put it to bed. Let's have a game of Scrabble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we were talking about on our way to Hastings last week. For me, that's where I went to chill after the.
Of course,
after
after
the
And that's
show.
where you decided you couldn't give 100% to the public if you weren't having a good day, like me and Steve do. Come rain or shine on a tin pot radio station that really doesn't, keep me in frappuccinos these days. But we'll say once again on air, this is official, and this is not to put pressure on you, that me and Steve are going away for a couple of months on the 16th of August to do the office special, and if Carl doesn't come back, nor will we, because I see it as a three-way thing, and that's the truth.
Rick, you've said that a couple of times now, as though you're expecting a flood of emails and calls. Nothing.
No, I'm just trying to get in pressure
There's been nothing.
because I know for a fact that they want us to come back, and I know.
I think maybe not the listeners though.
No, the listeners don't care.
They don't care
Listeners
then.
couldn't give it. They don't care. Who stands in? Do you know what I mean?
Incidentally, what frequency is Magic?
It's 105.4.
Worth checking out because I had a great.
Heart is
Bill Withers,
106.2. I think. Virgin's 105.
Bloody good station.
What is that? 105.8.
Yeah.
Which is
Well, check press
good.
for details, but
Yeah.
or watch some cable TV. There's some good stuff on.
Yeah, Kisses 100. That's easy to remember.
There's a new Ride album out, gentlemen. I think you're probably quite excited. It's
London's Heart 106.2.
It's released on the 4th of August, and it's all the BBC sessions, all the stuff that Ride did over the years for
Virgin 105.8.
for BBC, and this is one of them. It's called Time Over Time. I think it was from the album Going Blank Again. It's very good. Play it, Carl. I play that for Pippa, who requested some Ride. That's from a new compilation called Waves, and it's the BBC recordings that Ride made during the 90s, and I think that was originally recorded for BBC Radio 1. That's a good station. Radio
Bloody
1.
good station.
That's a good station if they're interested.
Radio 1. So one of the.
I think they pay quite well as well.
Well, I enjoyed working for them.
I know we used to work for them for a period of time.
Until we got fired for slagging off.
Simon Mayo.
I think it was Simon Mayo. Do you remember that?
I can't quite remember it.
Well, we used to do this thing, Marion Hobbs at night, and we were getting a bit busy, and so we were constantly handing in shoddier and shoddier work. Right, we used to hand it like that and hand it to them.
A theme there.
A theme, I know, yeah. And to the point where they kept going, oh, like every other week they go, we couldn't put it out. Why? Well, because it was the most offensive, or it was inaudible, or it was twaddle, or you didn't record it. You know, there was things like that.
Yeah.
And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back was Simon Mayo had just broken the Guinness World Record for DJing, and we were going, oh, that's brilliant, yeah, in an air-conditioned studio with loads of scrotes getting cappuccinos for him. That's not work. Our dad used to build walls, that's work, not sitting down. If he wants to break a record for work, and we went off on things like, I know, We were going, we know birds who do leather stuff to feed their smack addiction.
Yeah.
That's work.
No, that's
I want to see Mayo on his knees outside McDonald's giving a rent boy a blowjob and all this sort of stuff.
I want to see him hanging up in some kind of leather strap.
In a Amsterdam torture garden with 13 blokes jizzing on him, all with beards.
Yeah. But why aren't you still there?
Oh dear.
Happy days.
I think the producer at the time said, we can't. I said, why not? I said, we're not saying he did it, we're saying we'd like to see him do it.
Yeah.
Right? And she went, oh, he's a Christian.
All the more reason. Well, we were talking earlier about friends. You say you don't like making new friends, do you? You're kind of repulsed by the idea of new friends because it's too much responsibility. They might phone you up, they might ask you for a favour, they might need a shoulder to cry on. You don't want any of that responsibility, any of that concern. But I'll tell you what's worse than making new friends is when old acquaintances come out of the past.
Oh, pop up.
It really unnerves me because I'm constantly bumping into people who I just don't recognise.
I know.
And I've got this urge to be polite. I can never just go, I don't know who you are. I've always got to pretend.
I've looked for clues. When they say, you still, don't know, I go, yeah, so I go, right, and what about so-and-so? I go, so they know those two people, and it's like a saw in my brain going, I must know them from so-and-so.
Yeah. Well, I went back to Bristol once, and I remember, walking to the bus stop, and seeing someone I recognised from school and walking all the way to the next bus stop just so I didn't have to stand there and make conversation because I just thought I've got nothing.
Where's the conversation?
I didn't know you then.
If you're yeah.
What can we talk about? We've got nothing in common except the fact that we went to the same school. I was on a train station platform fairly recently and the guy comes in and he goes, "Oh, Steve, how's it going, mate?" And I looked at him, stony face, I had no idea who it was. But of course, I had to go, "Good, mate, good, how are you? How are you?" And you know, I had a newspaper and I kept looking at the newspaper thinking, every time I look at this newspaper, it's a clue for you to just walk away.
God.
But he never took the clue. He never took it, so it was kind of, I'd say, "Oh, yeah, not bad, not bad." Read the paper and he'd go, "Oh, where are you living at the moment?" So I'd tell him and he'd say, and I'd look at the paper again. "Oh, do you still know,
But that's the way, when you know they are, it's just as bad, because they go, "Oh, we should have a drink sometime," and you want to go, "I'll be honest, look, if I'd wanted to get in touch with you, I had loads of opportunities.
Exactly.
I've had every day, from now, right back to the last 15 years, I could have made contact. I didn't.
Exactly.
It's easy. Take that as a clue."
Yeah,
I mean,
instantly. If you are listening to this and you perhaps know me from school or university, you're thinking of getting in touch, do not bother.
Ditto.
I do not need your friends. You've got enough friends.
Better ones.
Better friends. I've got a number of better friends that I prefer. The reason I've not kept in touch is because I don't really like you.
You've moved onwards and
I've
upwards.
moved on. I know people now, the likes of which have won major awards on
Ricky
television.
Gervais, to name but one. He's happy.
See, he's sat right here next
That's
to me now.
all the friendship a man needs.
If you have won 4 BAFTAs, then give me a bell. If you have not, kindly stay in your little underneath your particular rock, because we're not interested. We have kept you out of our lives for a reason. I did not accidentally lose your number. When I promised to send you a letter, it did not get lost in the post. Nothing gets lost in the post.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Carl, what do you think of that?
It's alright. That's that, but I'm honest with them though, when I see them, do you know what I mean? I just say, "I don't know who you are, can't remember you." Not bothered.
I'm not bothered.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that is genius.
Anyway, Bit of Darkness.
Oh, well, I've got to play this. Now, be warned, this is a rock ballad off the new Darkness album. I love the album, and it's a bit cheeky playing this because it's got shades of Def Leppard, right? But there's a lovely balalaika bit in it, and it's quite a nice song. Right, and it's the Darkness, and they can get away with this sort of thing for at least another 4 months.
Radio 1.
If you want me, I'm your country.
Cardigans, You're the Storm on XFM 104.9. If anyone from Heart or Magic or Radio 1 or Radio 2 is listening, could well be available come October.
Yeah.
Alright?
Please get in touch.
Yeah.
I think that my new TV is too big, Rick.
I said that
I know,
when you
I don't
bought
know
it.
what I was thinking.
But I can't believe it. He talked about this buying it. He's got a bit of cash now, of course. And what is it? 42 inches? 42-inch plasma screen. What did it cost you? £3 or
Oh,
something?
don't tell. That's
Wow,
rubbish.
it's
3.5
ridiculous.
grand.
£3.5 big spender. Of course it's too big.
Well, I can't get far enough back in my room, in my living room for it.
You know, you're meant to be, I think, 4 times the screen size away from it.
Really?
to get out from the air. So that's 4 times 42 inches you're meant to be sitting away from it, which is impossible.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to just get friendly with the neighbours.
Yeah, watch it through a hat.
If that's the case, though, aren't you better off just getting a portable?
What?
I don't understand that rule.
Well,
What are you saying?
Well, you're meant to be 4 times the screen size away from the TV.
Well,
That's
then what's the
ratio-
point in having a big telly if you've got to keep moving further back? Get a portable.
And sit
and
right
sit
next to
near
it.
it. Is that how they sell it? Is that what they say to you?
Well, no, it's a rule, but I do see your point. Why do people go to the cinema then?
Did you see films that aren't out yet?
Fair enough, he's got you there.
Done.
I tell you this though, I had it delivered, and are you supposed to tip delivery men?
Of course you are.
I don't know. You see,
Well, if
I've never had anything delivered before. I've never
Well,
spent
no,
that much money.
not if it's a courier with an envelope, but if it's a bloke who's struggled up the stairs,
I held the door
two
open for
fat blokes with a fridge, then give him a £5 for a drink.
The problem was, I didn't realise, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I've got to tip him. And the guy was leaving, and my mobile phone went off in my pocket,
Yeah.
and I reached in to get it. He put his hand out, thinking it was a tip. I went, it's just my phone. And
Oh.
I felt terrible after he left. I didn't know. What was I going to do? Run down the street and offer him a £5?
No.
No, of course not.
No.
I'm not made of money. I just spent it on TV.
Yeah, I've got no money, mate.
No.
I just spent it all on
Yeah.
this. I had to clean out my jar, everything,
Exactly.
the drawers.
Yeah, I'd take some bottles back.
What
But
do you...
the problem was, it took me forever to wire it in. I thought, I'm not going to pay for someone to wire it up, you know. So it took me about 3 hours to wire it in, and it was huge, and I got it switched on, and the first programme that was on when I got it wired in was Bargain Hunt. I'll tell you this, David Dickinson's tan almost took me eyeballs out. It was incredible. It was like X-rays.
so
Extraordinary, the glow.
close. I know, a huge plasma screen with this orange thing
Yeah.
coming out, and he keeps turning to the camera, doesn't he?
course, that
Just to
grin.
get you. Yeah, he turns away. You get a bit closer. They go, "What's he doing?" And he just turns around,
Exactly, yeah.
takes the cornea off.
What do you think, Bargain Hunters? Bargain Hunters, Bargain Hunters.
Oh dear, that's why I'd buy a plasma screen to watch, Bargain Hunt.
I mean, it's ludicrous. This is the problem, is because what do you
I
watch?
mean, have you watched anything that's been worth having?
The only thing I've watched really worth watching.
24.
Well,
on-
yeah,
on a
24
big-
works great, but also films. Obviously, that's the main reason I bought it, because films just look amazing on there.
Yeah, DVD on
Yeah.
the plasma
So
screen.
if you're into films and that, it's
Yeah.
just that I only, I've just got the 5 channels and flicking about, and I'm not impressed. I mean, I can understand why more people listen to radio and stuff.
Yeah.
Cause,
Well, not this one, but go on.
well, when was it? When was the last time I sort of sat down and had time? Because I'm always busy doing stuff and that.
Sure.
Um,
Moaning takes up about 3 hours a day.
when did Wimbledon finish?
A couple of weeks ago.
Right. Found myself sat there, right, and I'm not having a go. I know we've stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week and all that, right? So I'm not going to be having a go.
Christ
I sat
almighty.
there.
I'm scared.
No, I'm not having a go. You've always got to remember that.
Go
I'm
on, just get
telling
on with
you
it.
what goes
Get on with it.
going in
I'll
my mind.
apologise after.
I'm just saying, watching Wimbledon, it wasn't, one of the major games. It was little fellas in a wheelchair having a game.
Little fellas in a wheelchair.
Right.
But for me, I mean, great. They're doing the sport and everything. Don't put it on the telly.
What was up with it?
There wasn't like a rally going on. No, do you know what I mean? Do you know normally, like with the well, not to Enman, but with some of the other with some of the other players and that, they're playing for ages, aren't they? It's like,
Yeah.
who's going to win this and that?
Yeah.
None of that. It was just like, hit it, net.
Oh, Christ! Oh, God! I don't know what to do!
And people were like sat there watching it as well when they've got other games going on in there. That's what I couldn't understand. If you've paid your money to get
God.
in,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, good on them if they. Do you know what I mean? But it would have been. I
And
don't
they
know,
all start first in the marathon.
I just thought it would have, give them a game of swing ball or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's never anything on.
XFM in the community.
Did
Brilliant.
anyone confirm, actually, I had an email earlier,
Swing ball!
No, I'm not having a go, though. Tell them. This is what I'm like, aren't I?
Sorry, this is recording you as well. What do you mean I'm not having to go tell them? Do you, what you
No,
think you
but
just
do
said
you know
that to
what I
me?
mean?
That do you think you haven't got a microphone? You just said to London, keep wheelchair sport off the telly because they can't get a rally going. You called them little fellas in wheelchairs. What? And I'm meant to go, what Carl meant was... What? I mean, what? They can hear you as well.
Yeah, I know. It's just that they might think that I'm having a go, and I don't want them to. That's why I stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week, because some people got the wrong end of the stick
Right.
and what have you. So,
Well, it was funny that a woman was born with deformed legs. They might think you were taking the mick.
So,
Anyway, I just was wondering if anyone could confirm. We had an email earlier, I forget who sent it in, but thanks very much indeed for it. They said that the Paralympics began this week, and apparently during the opening show, the entertainment was provided by Riverdance. Now, I don't know if that, I can neither confirm nor deny that, but it does seem rather tactless. Let's play a tune. Ricky Gervais, Ricky Gervais.
Don't put my name to this last link. Don't put my name to this last link.
Ricky.Gervais, xfm.co.uk.
Oh.
Magic, Virgin, if you're listening, we are available probably sooner than we thought.
Making plans for Nigel? XTC on XFM 104.9. Well, you seem a little bit happier now.
Oh, yeah, it was alright. I'm a bit worried. Like I say, the last thing that we just talked about, I don't want people thinking, you know, we're having a go at anyone, because it does do me head in. Because I'm the one who always has to deal with it as well when people do.
What?
You know, we're just having a chat about tennis and stuff.
Yeah, the little fellas in the wheelchair, as you put it.
Yeah,
What are you worried
that's all.
about? That
Just that they think we're having a go and that, because sometimes I do have to take calls and deal with it, all this stuff, right? You don't see that. You don't see the hassle I have to go through.
No, but I don't often say things where I'm likely to get a complaint from
Yeah, but
someone.
I'm just saying it wasn't meant to be taken badly, do you know what I
You're
mean?
allowed to say you thought that the quality of tennis, because they were confined to a wheelchair, was poorer than, say, Sampras versus Agassi. I don't think that's in question. It wasn't as good a game of tennis. That's what all you were saying. You weren't saying they shouldn't play or...
Wreck the grass. Right mess.
Well, stop while
No,
you're ahead.
I'm just saying as well. That just...
I can confirm, incidentally, we've had several emails, I can confirm that Riverdance opened the Paralympics in Dublin recently, so I'm sure that was very good, very entertaining.
Leave it then.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it was entertaining, they're very good.
Who was it that thought... Was it Jimmy that thought it was short for Paraplegic Olympics?
Really? I've no idea.
Yeah, it's Parallel Olympics, isn't it? It's
Paralympics,
yeah.
right.
But as we pointed out, that would be pretty much
Yeah,
blow football.
yeah.
There wouldn't be many sports in the Paraplegic Olympics. It stands for Parallel
Yeah.
Olympics. I'm educating, Carl. Don't let me like that. I'm educating. I'm not saying funny little fellas in
I
wheelchairs
educate without
cutting up the
going there.
grass. What?
I'm always educating. I'm always telling you about stuff that I learn about and that.
That you get off hand and over, and it's about a monkey who became king.
No. So we've
No? Have you got monkey news this week?
got a little bit of monkey news coming up.
What does he do? Drive to Spain, rob a bank, or get married?
No, we've done all them, haven't we? We have done all them.
Yeah,
This
but you
one-
know
no,
what-
it's a good one. It's a good one. And in fact, it's a bit related to what we've been talking about in a
Oh,
way.
God.
That's good. That's
Now
Okay.
then, last week after your nervous breakdown,
Yeah.
you went to Hastings.
Yeah.
Can I ask, why the hell did you go to Hastings? It's so arbitrary.
What do you mean?
Why go to Hastings?
You lost him on arbitrary. Why did you choose that above all other places within...
It's amazing, isn't it? You look at his face when you say a word that, you know, he doesn't understand, and it just goes dead. It's
Yeah.
like when your computer freezes.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah. Is there an equivalent to Control Alt Delete when
On
Carl
call.
just doesn't understand? So we have to press like knob, bollock, finger up arse. It takes him out of his sort of stupid, doesn't it?
Now that's three things to press, but you've only got two hands, so...
Wow. Yeah, I know. God, what would I do?
know,
I'd have, hold on, so I could have the thumb of my right hand, pop that up his arse. I'd have probably my index finger of my left hand on his knob. How would I press his testicles? What would I use? I'd have to use some other part.
Shall we try it?
Yeah, let's go around
Just
there.
have a bit, try it.
Messing about.
Look, come on. What?
Sit
I just
down.
think it's time you had a little kiss.
Sit
'cause you don't- No, you're so welcome.
I've already had a little.
What happened, Carl?
He loves it, he loves it. I'm just gonna give you a little kiss.
Don't
Just
do
for the
that.
webcam.
Right, hurry up then.
Alright, on the lips.
No, no.
Come on. Oh, God. I love it because he hates it so much.
You wouldn't get that radio on.
But it means I could have kissed Chris Moyles.
What?
I could have kissed Chris Moyles on Radio
Little
1.
Milesy. Give Milesy a little kiss for all his good work.
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
What happened to Chris Miles' show? Is he not on anymore?
On the TV?
Yeah.
No. Turns out he was too fat and talentless.
No.
Do you want to tell us about Hastings?
Where did that come from?
Eh? What?
Yeah, Hastings.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah.
What's there?
Not much. It's just one of them
Is there a
places. Yeah, it's good. I think that's what's good about it. Nobody knows, right? Because last weekend it was roasting, and you saw pictures of Brighton, and it was heaving.
Yeah.
Right. Hastings, hardly anyone there, and yeah, it's got a nice little beach.
Yeah.
Sand?
Sandy
No,
beach?
pebbles. Well, that's all right, isn't it? You don't,
no.
you don't want the sand.
Why didn't you want sand? Of course you want
Yes, a
sand.
little bit, don't it?
It's murder building a sandcastle.
No, you just sit
Yeah,
there.
you can't walk on pebbles, can you? It's,
What
you
do you
know,
mean?
well, it's all kind of, it's sort of a bit, you know, dodgy
It's
underfoot.
all right. The only annoying thing is, right, it's one of them places that it's great to visit for a day,
Yeah.
but I wonder how people who live there get by.
Why?
Because all the shops are like them things that you go in, and it's like a little pebble with a pebble stuck on the top, and it says Hastings on it. So every shop does that. If you want bread and milk,
You're done for.
it's murder.
Yeah.
There must be a supermarket.
I didn't see any. Seriously, it's all novelty things like that.
Yeah.
And then when I got back into London,
Their houses.
Yeah.
Just covered in pebbles and, like, seashells and stuff.
Oh, not rock for tea again.
well, the funny thing is, right, it's the first time I've sort of noticed somewhere like that. When you go, what do you do if you just want some Brillo pads or whatever? I'm walking in London.
Never concerned me that. Never needed Brillo pads in my life.
No, but you know what I mean. The sort of things that
Yeah.
it's a bit tricky to find. But in London, you've got the coverage.
Yeah.
Now the weird thing is, I was walking home from had a drink the other night, right?
Yeah.
Walking down the road, and there was a shop that just sold in London, chess pieces
Yeah. Is that the one on Great Portland Street?
round the corner from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's, I think that's
Well,
mental.
I remember being in Brighton once and seeing a shop, and all it sold was the foam you put inside cushions.
Yeah, there's one of those at Pentonville Road.
But I don't know who opens a shop like that.
I know where these
I'll tell
things
you, there's
are.
There's a hole in the market.
Yeah. What was that shop we walked past yesterday? And it was like something really, really... Oh, chef uniform shop.
Yeah.
It's Dundee Street. And I'll tell you what, I opened a chef uniform. Mainly sort of check trousers and white hats. But there must be a lot of chefs around. I'm eating all the time. Someone's making the food.
The funny thing is, on the chess shop, right, they mustn't have been doing that well. And someone the bosses must have been sat there going, not really working this, is it?
Yeah,
right?
people only buy one chess set in their life.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, but the funny thing is, on the door, it's just said, come in and browse. Which I thought was odd.
Did
right?
you?
No, it's shut. Right? but the funny thing is, right, so you can imagine them sat there going, oh, not doing that well. And it's changed, they've actually changed the name of the shop now.
Yeah.
And now it says chess and bridge.
Right, they've had to
So
expand.
they've opened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
What do you buy for bridge, if not
I don't
a pack
know.
of cards?
I don't know.
I don't know, I don't play bridge, but I don't know, I don't think you need a lot of stuff for bridge, except a pack of cards.
I remember going
A table.
when I was on
3 friends.
on holiday once in Devon, past a shop. I don't know if you ever need it. If you ever need an antique marionette, let me know. I know where there's a shop.
Okay, yeah.
Antique marionettes.
I know.
Again, you only need one, unless
But I
you're a
want to know
collector.
who goes into this business. Well, son, what are you doing? Going to university to do law, father. Well, there's a factory there that makes the little plastic bits that goes on the end of chair legs. Do you want to take it over from me? We're not ready, no. It's all set up.
Yeah.
It's all set up. Oh, God. All right, Dad, but just for a couple of years.
Someone's got to make them. Someone's got
know.
to make the little plastic bits that go on the end of chairs.
Well, if you make them, call us on the 123497734.
Weird though, innit? Weird.
Weird, though, isn't it?
Right, listen, songs of phrase answers next. We'll go out of the
Well,
way.
I'll tell you what, play it once more, so that people have got a chance to actually enter.
Hang on,
If you
keep
can
talking,
be bothered.
keep talking, keep talking.
Oh, I can't be
Should be ready, Carl. This is
Right.
terrible.
Here we go. Right.
That is the well-known phrase, Daddy's never gonna stop robbing telephone box. The well-known phrase.
And we're looking for the songs, I think. I don't care.
Well,
Tell me where it all went.
Libertines on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant. Over there is Karl Pilkington. I'd be great for Heart.
You really
wouldn't
would.
I?
You really
Virgin, I'd probably. But it was Radio 2 be my first. All one. Late night
station.
one would be good.
All good stations, all professional stations.
Yeah. 4
All
weeks to
have an
go.
audience, all have
4
an
weeks to go before we may give up or we may come back. Who knows? It's all up to Karl Pilkington.
Can I just extend an apology? I was a little bit crass earlier, and I made some unsavoury remarks about Radio 1 DJ Chris Moyles. I'd like to apologise.
Funny man Chris Moyles.
I would like to apologise for that, but it gave me an idea. You, the listeners, who do you hate? Email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. I just think that we've never really used XFM as a kind of, as a research tool, really, and it seems to me that we can get great opportunity.
And it's this, we don't sort of do this thing, we don't go on there and sort of like slag off other people and people in the public eye. Well, we pick on targets that
can't fight back.
Helpless, the elderly, you know, people suffering in some way, that really, and particularly we don't want to pick on people like Chris Moyles, who's got a big platform, much bigger platform.
We want people who can't answer back.
Yeah, so, who do you hate?
That's us. Who do you hate? And I don't want people you went to school with, or your boss.
Do you know what I hate, Steve?
Who do you hate, Rick?
Right, my top three, just in your top three, would be Hitler, Mussolini, and General Pinochet.
Really?
No, probably Moylesy, Harry Potter, and Jamie Oliver.
Nice.
But what are your top three?
Now, don't make them comical, don't make them... These are the people that wind you up. When you see them on TV, if you hear them on the radio, if you see them in a magazine, they just... they make your kind of blood boil.
Might be us.
It could be us.
Well,
I'm expecting that.
We know that... we're not stupid.
We could take it as read that it's us.
Yeah.
And then it's anyone other
let's
than
assume it's us, so we want other people.
Yeah. But we just want... I want to draw up the top 5 people.
I don't want to hear things like Tony Blair and Jeffrey Archer and fascism. No. Just people who make your flesh crawl for no fault of their own.
Well,
really?
Well, sometimes their own, because they're talentless or fat.
But that'd be good. That'd be a good long-term poll over the next 4 weeks, and then in 4 weeks' time we go, well, we're off, we're in the top 10.
Exactly.
But here are the other 9.
So I think it's just genuinely going to be quite interesting. So ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Maybe who you hate and why. It's like giving a reason in the diary room.
Yeah.
You can't just nominate someone. You've got to say and why.
Sure. But if you can't be bothered to write and why, just nominate. Yeah. Because that means we got a lot of reading to do if they start doing that, Rick.
Yeah.
Keep it down to one sentence.
Yeah. You know, so the reason to be, so-and-so, because they can't walk. Something like that.
Sure.
Maybe.
Now then, we were playing earlier Songs of Phrase. We have had... I mean, the answers I could literally count on the fingers of one hand. Now, the right answers, even less so. But, do you want to play it once more, Carl?
Oh, God.
From there was 7 songs in there.
Right.
Read them out. Go on. What are they?
It was
Oh, have you got it written down?
I can remember them. Daddy Cool. Right. Boney M.
Yeah.
Never Gonna.
Give You Up.
Rick Astley. Yeah.
Write them down.
Stop. Sam Brown.
Right.
Robin was Miss Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. That's not Robin.
Oh.
From Russia with Love, Matt Monro.
Right.
Telephone hanging on the telephone, Blondie.
Right.
And then Box, Living in a Box.
Living in a Box.
Well, listen, no, I don't think anyone got them all right.
No.
If you did get them all right, I'm sorry, but I gave up checking the emails a long time ago. So, I'm going to give it to Michelle Flower, because she got a few of them right. So well done,
she got a lot right there, actually, well done.
Good, well done.
She got 5 out of 7, so well done, Michelle. And you get all those great prizes. Incidentally, we mentioned that Stargate SG-1, I'm sure you look forward to that, Michelle. That features Richard Dean Anderson. Had a lot of emails, people saying, is that the same Richard Dean Anderson, or Dickie Anders, that used to email in and said he loved the show?
What's happened to Dickie
Now,
Anders?
I've not heard from Dickie for ages. So, Dickie, if you're listening, Richard Anderson, if anyone knows Richard Anderson, what's happened to him?
Well, I think we know his top 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dickie Anders, if you're still out there, get in touch with
Anders. Little saucer. Right?
Yeah.
Anders.
I just was going to say, you're talking about people who annoy you and that.
Yeah.
Like, not many sort of celebrities annoy me, because I think, well, some people like them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But things that affect me, like the builders. Right?
You're a philosopher. Go on.
Builders annoy me, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And you could say that's a bit of stereotyping, but all the people who I've met who have been builders have always annoyed me, right? So that's because
they've been working on your house in your space. I mean, that's all the builders that have been round your flat making a noise when you're trying to get some sleep have annoyed you.
Well, that.
Brilliant.
But also someone in the office in the week, right, who works here. Yeah. He's a good lad, named Lenny, right? He's called Lenny. He proposed to his missus using XFM. So, he popped in Zoe's show, right? His girlfriend sat out there. She didn't know what was going on. She was asked to come in.
Even she wasn't listening, she was out there. she probably had a Walkman on or something.
Yeah. But just that
She was just to Jono. He had to fax Jono with the request.
Dear Jono, I'm broadcasting from Mexico at the moment. Can
My
you ask
girlfriend's listening to you.
Oh, God. London's Hot 106.2.
Great
But
station.
it's just that thing of, like, abusing your position, I think, annoys me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just was thinking, if he worked for a cab company, would he have done that over...
That's one of my
Do you know
hates.
what I mean?
People abuse. Do you know what I hate? Dictators who have just sort of like, they've got there by unfair means, now they're sort of like hurting the, like, little people and that.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hate the most.
Yeah. Do you know what I don't like?
What?
Famine. No, it winds me right up. Famine and disease. Oh, I get so annoyed with it. Tune from Wilco, this is called I'm the Man Who Loves You from their album Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, XFM 104.9. Who do you hate? Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk.
Alright.
Fascists. Isn't that brilliant? Van Dando, All My Life. Beautiful. On XFM 104.9. Well, that's nearly it. It's the big one. It's what people tune in for. They probably tune in about 10-2 these days. For Monkey News. With, Karl Pilkington.
Can we hear the jingle?
Only 4 to go. Oh, chimpanzee, that Monkey News.
Right, this one's about it's been emailed into me.
Right.
Haven't really had time to check it out this week.
No, you're joking.
Been busy.
Ooh, I
Been
hope
busy.
it's not stupid.
Goes back to 1908, and the person saying it's, you know, it's a good story and that, and they're surprised I haven't picked up on it yet. Right. The Olympics, right? In 1908 in London. Apparently it was meant to happen in Italy, but it was cancelled. Don't know why. Right, and it happened in London. Anyway, 400 metres. Right, it was meant to... there was a fella who was going to do the run, right, and the favourite to win it was this Bulgarian guy, right? It was like a newcomer.
Okay, these are the few things it cannot be. 1, he injures himself, so a monkey steps in and wins. 2, he does a drugs test, it turns out that he is a monkey. So if it's either of those, right, I'm gonna go mad.
So anyway, so the fella, right, this favourite, everyone's putting the money on him, thinking, yeah, he's going to do it. Gonna
Is he
put a nice
hairy?
little-
Is this bloke hairy?
So anyway, so the race happens,
Yeah.
and everybody's lined up, ready to run. And, you know, everyone's saying, yeah, he's going to win, he's going to win. Then suddenly, a bit of murmuring going on, people going, oh, what's going on here?
Oh, he's eating a banana.
And there's a fella in the lane next to him,
Yeah.
right, he's going up. Who's that? He doesn't look familiar,
Oh, Christ, Carl.
Keep going.
right? Doesn't look familiar. Who's he? You know,
Weird,
what's
weird,
going on?
isn't it?
What's going on? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? Or who is it? I mean, or not what is it?
So they go in. So they say, well, he might not be that any good. Do you know what I mean? He might not be good. He might. It's just
A bit short, and
Doesn't matter.
he's only 3'6", and he's hunched over on his knuckles. So,
I didn't realise it was fancy dress.
so.
I
Anyway,
don't think he's gonna be any good.
so the race
Oh,
starts.
he's put his finger up his arse. That's weird for a runner to do that before a race. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Race starts.
Yeah.
The fella that no one recognises wins it. People go, what's gone on here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? We had our money on the favourite. What's gone on? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, he stood up there, right? He's looking well happy.
Yeah.
He's lifting the trophy and everything.
Right.
Right?
Long arms. That trophy's higher than...
So anyway,
He's
so
only 3 foot, but the trophy's 9 foot in the air with those long arms. It's suspicious. Go on.
they had the picture in the paper the next day,
Sure.
and everyone's going, yeah, he was fast and everything, but quite hairy for a run.
Oh, I'll tell you
Come
what,
on,
Carl.
come on.
Quite
It's
airy for a runner, because
ridiculous.
normally they shave themselves, don't they, to make them faster. And
No.
that. How did he manage it? It's really airy and that. So anyway, he wins the stuff, he walks away with a cup. The people who are in charge of the running, or like the Olympic Committee, look further into it. Turns out it was a chimp.
Right, keep talking.
No,
Right.
don't keep talking.
Shut
Why
up.
encourage him?
Shut up. This is monkey news. If you can't handle the news...
It's news from 1909, and I haven't heard about a chimp winning the Olympics.
Right, be quiet.
What happened there, then?
400 metres, right? Now the
Don't
thing is,
talk shit.
the annoying
Please,
thing was,
Ricky.
it took so long for the Olympic Committee, right, to find out that it was a monkey. It was going manic. It went into loads of races. It was picking up loads of, like...
Oh, shut up!
Right?
It became a celebrity. It was doing endorsements on TV.
Don't talk shit!
It said he managed to win the same race 4 years later in Athens because...
How did he get to
But
Athens?
it's a joke! They're winding you up, Carl!
Weird.
It's not weird, it's
isn't
right. I do not believe it. Well, that's okay. There's only 3 of them to go then. Right, because we're probably all leaving in 4 weeks' time, and that's the end, I've got to get onto a sort of mainstream radio station, because I don't think there's any other sort of tin pot place like this, is there?
No.
So I'm gonna clear up my act a little bit. I've got an album from the Capital Radio Library, and it's the best punk album in the world ever, so if Capital are listening, I'm just gonna show that I can do a mainstream. I'm gonna play a classic song and I'm gonna announce it right and everything. So
if you get a job on a decent station, you'll take me with you, will you?
we're a pair.
Brilliant.
So okay, here we go. Right, if anyone's listening, just to show that I can do mainstream radio. Okay. Well, that's all. Okay.
Well, you're getting nervous. You're getting nervous.
Okay.
So come on. Shall I get a monkey and do it?
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Well, that's about all there is time for today. You've been listening to Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant. Across the way, K-Man Pilkers. We're going all the way back now, a classic song from the late 1970s, and this is Devo with Mongoloid. Jane's Addiction, Just Because on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. We're all here then.
Oi, oi.
About 1:05.
Yeah.
Got 2 hours to go.
I imagine you've got all kinds of treats lined up, Rick.
Well, there's lots of things on the show. Great music. You know, Nirvana, Radiohead, The Darkness, to name but 3.
Can I play you something from Led Zeppelin later?
Yeah, please do. And maybe some Neil Young.
Oh.
Now, coming up also on the show, we're continuing a thing we started. We've only got 4 weeks to go before maybe we either give it all together or go away for a couple of months.
Is it 4 weeks or 3 weeks now?
Is it 3 weeks?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think it's the 16th of August, isn't it?
Cannot end soon enough.
Well, might be that it'd be a shame to end it forever, but it's all up to Carl. But again, he's in a grumpy mood. We've tried to try and up his attitude, and it's them, it's the listener that counts, Carl, not us. We may be feeling bad, but you, the listener, count. You come first, yeah? Okay, up, yeah? Big 'em up. Big up London. Big up you, the listener. Carl, leave yourself at home for a little while, yeah? We're going to continue that thing we started last week. We're doing the list of the most hated people in Britain. It's not us, it's the listener. So we'll, keep coming with those suggestions of people you just, obviously, you don't hate them. We don't want a list of mass murderers, dictators and politicians. You can have them, but,
mass murderers and politicians, what's the difference?
Good point. Good point.
Satire.
Satire, yeah. No, we're doing some jokes like that as well, aren't we?
Satire like that.
We're trying to get onto Radio 4.
Trying to get on there, yeah.
And,
if there's any kind of amusing show that perhaps takes a sideways look at the week's news, and they need new people.
If there are any Radio 4 producers who have been knocking around for about 12 years with the same old hacks, and they're desperately trying to get on telly, they want to give us a call. We're not interested.
No. We've got bigger fish to fry. But yeah, so if people that you hate, minor celebrities, people on TV, pop stars you don't like, email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
And I'll tell you what, then we'll do like the Channel 4 do, then we'll give you the sort of list of the top 10 at the end, and you can vote within that top 10. I'll tell you the ones out in front though.
Could we wire up some kind of premium rate phone line so that we make a fortune?
We can't afford it, but if when you email in, if you could also maybe send us a lottery ticket, then, you know, we'll make something out of this. The ones in the lead, and I'll do in no particular order, but these are the ones way out in front at the moment, is Chris Moyles, Robbie Williams, Chris Tarrant, Davina McCall.
Interesting.
I'm sort of surprised at, but I know that it's probably just
I think she's just been on TV too much lately.
Yeah, that t-shirt annoys me, Big Mother.
Sure.
That annoys me. We don't care. We don't care whether you're pregnant or not. Loads of people have children.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Get on with it.
And Dominic Mohan. So, there's but think of your own.
There's a lot of people just coming up behind there, though. Graham Norton. He's just approaching from behind.
Oh, that's the sort of stuff. It's sort of like we've done satire, we've done innuendo. I mean, he's the king of the double entendre. Well, he's the king of the single entendre, but we can double it up if you want.
If anyone...
104.9, this is the sort of things we're available. Go on. I'm loving this. This is going to be good. I'm loving what's coming next. What?
If any of the producers of Carry On London are listening and they need some new talent to write some smutty innuendo, I think we're your men.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Carl, you better press the knob, right, to start the record. Spunk.
Smutty. Ricky, I know you're a Neil Young fan.
Love him.
You probably won't have this album. It has basically not been available for years. It's never been available on CD before. It was part of this kind of trilogy of albums he did that were very depressing, and they've just been re-released. This is absolute dynamite. It's On the Beach. On the Beach, yeah. And that's the opening track, Walk On, Neil Young.
Brilliant. On XFM 104.9. That's the sort of stuff. You've had satire, you've had a little bit of politics. You've had, we said spunk, which is a bit naughty, isn't it? Which
Exactly.
is a bit cutting
Rock
edge.
and roll.
Yeah. And you've had Neil Young and Jane's Addiction, so
I can't think
probably
of
quite
anything else I'd rather
down
have.
with the kids and everything, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty hip, pretty weird.
Yeah, so, do you know what else? Wish Tony Blair would just stop
Oh,
doing
Yeah.
doing stuff wrong.
good, that's good. Who else is there to have a go at? Oh, Peter Mandelson or someone.
No,
No?
he's good, isn't he? Because he's good because he's gay, isn't he?
I don't know, I don't know.
I don't know if he is. If he's not, then I'm sorry, but if he is, then well done.
Brilliant. Good to, all gay people good.
Yeah.
Any underprivileged people, you're all brilliant. But people who are overprivileged, oh.
Do you know what I like?
Go on.
Foreigners.
Do you?
All the mad shit they get up to.
Oh, what is
you
it
see
now?
on the news. It's
Yeah.
just that interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. Some of it.
It's,
I'm watching, I'm going, what are you doing that
What is
for?
in that, boy?
It's weird, isn't it?
Killing and that.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're working
And
for
doing
Radio
good
4,
stuff. And good stuff, and...
Yeah, well, yeah. Euro Disney, that's good. So anyway, that's the sort of satire and the way we can
Yeah.
kind of tear apart popular culture and just get
Yeah.
to the very nub bit.
Well, can I just leave with this? Do you know my favourite country? Africa.
It is brilliant.
Not
It's-
strictly a
it's huge.
country, but
It's huge.
all the countries. Except the bad ones. Remember the bad ones?
All evil ones.
Play a
yeah.
record. Anyone at Radio 4 is listening.
Yeah, we would like to get on some kind of satire show, please.
Longview and further on XFM 104.9.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, going well at the moment.
Not bad,
Going
not
well.
bad. You were just talking about foreigners.
Love 'em.
And I'll tell you something, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, because I know you're a very well-informed man. You
Yeah,
are very
political and sort of liberal and that.
educated. Yeah. How does Chinese work?
With the language,
I can't figure it out.
no one knows.
I can't figure it out.
No one knows.
It's not like any other language.
No, it's not.
It's
It's not.
You know,
Either spoken or written down. Well, it's not written down, it's...
well, when it's written down, it basically looks like kind of little children's drawings of those little paper houses that Chinese people live in.
Well, that's what
You know what I
it
mean?
is.
Sort of-
It is
And
a
it's
little...
loads of them, hundreds of them, from what I can make
But I mean,
out.
even French have a go. It's not even the French got right words, but they've got some of
They're
the right
trying to sound
letters,
like English.
and they're going, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And it's sort of they're
Exactly.
trying to do the words, but there's just something wrong. I think this is like a speech impediment. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, Germans are similar.
Yeah, Germans are going, how are you? And they're trying to do the words.
trying to
They're
speak
just
English, but it's
whereas
just coming out
Chinese,
of it
no
different.
effort.
It's just, for want of a better word, it sounds to me, when I listen to Chinese, it sounds like gobbledygook.
That is a dialect.
I
that's
can't-
I think that's the main dialect. That Mandarin and orangutan. But I mean,
I
that.
can't, but seriously, I mean, I can't figure it out. I've got no grasp of how, because it doesn't seem to relate to anything I've
Wait,
ever
there's not
heard.
real words because there are sentences. Like, you know, we have a word, if we said, a gentleman sits by the stream of fish.
I've said it often.
Yeah, we use all the different words to each one of those words, so we've got a word for each of them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't, they've just got, I think it's like a triangle with a line through it.
Right.
So,
Right,
which
right,
can
right.
get confusing, because, you know,
Yeah, so the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
that's just, that's what, I think that's like a little paper house with a feather on top.
Right.
But if we got,
Personally, this is what I would love to do. I want to use the fact that we're on the radio to answer these questions possibly.
yeah, to
I
tell
would
me about
love-
other cultures.
I would love to speak to a Chinese person.
Yeah.
A Chinaman.
Well, or a Chinaman woman.
A Chinaman woman, I thought
Yeah.
fine. But I'd just like to speak to someone, ideally perhaps, you know, a professor of Chinese.
Or someone who works in a chip shop, but someone who was actually born in Chinaland.
Someone born in China.
Someone born in Chinaland, a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman, just to talk us through exactly what they're going on about.
Exactly. And it's just because I'm very ill-informed. I've only really seen Chinese people in kung fu movies. You know,
Chinatown,
Chinatown, walking through Chinatown.
as we've said before.
Not really a town.
Not really a town.
More of a novelty street.
More of a novelty street, a slippery novelty street.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Because I remember watching Kung Fu a lot. They always used to speak, they always speak very slowly, don't they?
they do.
They're very kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
Inscrutable.
They never really said they are unscrutable.
You cannot scrute a Chinaman.
You cannot scrute a Chinaman or a Chinaman.
They are
woman.
unscrutable. They are non-scrutable.
Yeah.
If I was to go out in the street now and try and scrute a Chinaman,
you'd have no chance.
I would not, because they are inscrutable.
You could not scrute a Chinaman for love nor money.
They are anti-scrutable.
Yeah, yeah.
I could possibly scrute a Chinese woman.
Well, I don't think you'd have any luck. You've had no luck.
But anyway, if you are a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman who can just tell us basically how it works, how would you teach us the basics of Chinese if we were going to go to China and we wanted to interact? Where would we start? What would be the first words we would say? How would we say them? How would we write them? Please help.
This is going to run and run.
What's the number, Carl?
08700 800 1234.
A lot of love from Led Zeppelin Classic.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
We've not heard much from Carl this week.
We haven't heard much from anyone who can speak Chinese for us either, so we're not that one on the head. I don't think we'll be learning Chinese today, Steve.
What annoys me is I'm going to go out into the world still ignorant.
I know, yeah. The only Chinese I learned was from Benny Hill.
No, Benny Hill could speak fluent Chinese.
Well, the only ones I know is you silly idiot is Siri Iria.
Yes.
And bloody foreigners is bloody foreigner.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, that's it's just a matter of it get you by in Peking, but I mean, you come in, you hit a dialect and you know, your worms meat.
Sure.
Carl, yeah, we haven't heard a lot about from you. We've been going, we've done a few features already. We've talked about different parts of the world, different parts of the globe.
Do you speak any languages?
No, not really.
Well, still struggling with English.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, a few words. I mean, literally.
So
About 4,000, I think he's got.
I've had a lot of emails, actually, people saying, Carl, please don't leave, we don't want to see the show ending, blah, 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 blah.
And we've had a couple of calls bringing back Cheeky Freak of the Week. And do you know what Carl said? He said, a bloke on the phone, he said, oh, bring back Cheeky Freak of the Week. He went, can't, not allowed, I don't know, you know. And he went, oh, go on. He went, well, no, I had a story today. A fella born with 2 dicks, but I can't do it. Now, Carl, you cannot not do a feature about a fella born with 2 dicks.
Well, look if we need it. I mean, how much more have you got on the Chinese?
We've done that. We've nailed Chinese, we've done it. That's done, that's put to bed. Fella with 2 dicks, please.
No, we might get round to it later. But, like I say, Cheeky Freak of the Week. Sort of, we've put that on hold at the moment.
Sure.
Right.
So, what have we got? What
are you providing then today? Have you got a quiz for us?
Yeah, we've got, what's her name if you want? We've got
what?
What's her name?
What's her
No,
name?
don't
Is that a new one?
Don't know. Yeah, what's her name? Yeah, what girl am I thinking of?
Song's a phrase.
Song's a phrase.
We've got that coming up.
Alright. Monkey News, I
Monkey News is safe, isn't it?
That's a Monkey News, that goes out.
I told a bit of Monkey News. I did a photo shoot at the zoo this week, and one of the people in charge.
Trying to make yourself look good.
yeah. They told me that they used to have an orangutan, right? But it escaped. It worked out. It lifted up a drain, got out the drains, and got out up into the zoo. It actually did a Coldix type escape, right? And Carl goes, what happened? I said, well, they sort of like, they surrounded it and sort of got it back in. He went, that's no good though. I mean, it's not Monkey News unless it steals a car and goes to Spain.
Exactly, yeah, or opens a small
I mean, that's real. That actually happened.
Yeah.
But it's not real unless it, you know, takes a gun, gets mistaken from a president, and, you know...
runs the country for 3 years.
There was some more news about London Zoo this week about it. They're all excited because we've got an anteater in there.
Right.
This week. So.
Is that good? Is that exciting?
No, I think they've had an okapi born. It's got a long nose. It's like a sort of tapir type thing.
Not interested. Have I said to you before about if an animal's named after what it eats, how interesting is it? Do you know what I mean?
But an anteater is the only one, isn't it?
Well, get rid of them.
No, there's lots in there.
What other ones are there?
Well, there's flycatchers. There's lots of animals that are named after what they eat.
What's a flycatcher?
That's a bird, isn't it?
Seems ill-informed. I can't think of many beyond anteater. You're talking about, because you're talking about zoo, though, and I was watching the news last night, and it had a feature about Madame Tussauds. And they were saying that they scrapped many of the royal family. Now, I don't mean this, but I've never understood the appeal of Madame Tussauds. I just, genuinely, with no irony, cannot see the appeal of sort of having my photo taken next to a waxwork of J-Lo.
I know.
I can't compute why that would be fun. I don't know, what is it? Do they move? Because they don't move, do they?
No,
They
of
just
course they
stand
don't.
there.
I know.
So genuinely, I mean, it's so crowds of people queuing up, and people queuing to have their photo taken with the rules, and I don't...
The queue would put me off immediately.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just down the road,
But
isn't
isn't
it?
it so you go home to your friend and go, there's me, there's me with Kylie. There's
It's
me
not
with
quite,
Britney
is it?
Spears.
Her eyes
Oh,
look
no,
a bit
it's just a
funny.
wax effigy.
Oh, I thought you met
Yeah.
her.
No, it's just a waxwork.
Right.
It's not even the real person. If you've been to Madame Tussauds, if you have any understanding of why the appeal there, email
Hold
and
on,
tell
wait a
me,
minute.
'cause I've
Well,
no
let's
understanding.
not diss them, because they might melt down, Ricky Tomlinson one day to do me.
Sure,
You
yeah.
never know, you know.
Or Rick Waller.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't want to put them off.
But seriously, I mean, I'm not being
you know,
flippant,
Roy
but,
Kinnear might be in there.
what
and
is
he's
the appeal? Genuinely, what is the appeal? To walk around a number of life-size
But that's the
effigies.
same as lookalikes. When I see it at the back of the stage, and it's got like, I don't know, Susan Gooding is Caprice.
Yeah.
And you want to go, what do you do with her? Oh, 500 quid, she comes and stands at your party.
Yeah.
And people go, she looks a bit like Caprice. Yeah, don't go too close. She does, yeah.
It's like Caprice over there.
No, but it's...
It looks a bit like...
Yeah.
There was one in the back of the stage which was, so-and-so is Jordan. And it was a woman who was sort of buxom girl, wearing very little. I thought,
Buxom! Are you from the West Country?
I am. But I thought to myself, if you're willing to get your knocks out pretending to be Jordan, just get them out and become a pastry model. Stop pretending to be Jordan.
And call yourself after another Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
Don't just... Yeah, don't
It's
just...
very odd.
I know. God.
Very strange. But you've got a lookalike now, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's
But
so odd.
But it's a bloke, right? Sort of at his desk, right?
In the picture.
In the picture, and it's David Brent.
Yeah.
And it's got Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
So...
But I don't remember, it's just an old fat bloke with a beard.
Alright, don't have a go.
Alright.
Play a record, Carl. No need for that. Radiohead. There. And Go to Sleep on XFM 104.9. Don't go to sleep, we've got some more fun and great tunes coming up. Alright?
Just to let you know that we've had a few new entrants on the listeners' hate poll.
I just noticed Chris Evans is cropping up.
Chris Evans has snuck in a couple of times. We've also had Jordan added to the list, along with Mick Hucknall.
I think that's because you reminded people.
I know, I mentioned her and,
Yeah.
yeah, consequently...
Come on,
she's on the
think.
Mick Hucknall, and also, this is one I'm strongly behind, Daniel Bedingfield. If you've
Yeah,
ever
but I
heard
can't
him
hate
interviewed,
him.
oh, if you've heard him interviewed, he's such a knob.
Is he?
He really is a bit
Don't get
intense.
involved. We see, the good about this is we don't get involved.
Yeah,
This
true,
is
true.
not... does not necessarily reflect our opinions.
That's absolutely
There are a couple of people that are cropping up that I'm right behind, but I'm not going to give that away. So don't give your opinion, Steve, because then our hands are
Do you know
clean.
who I love? Daniel Bedingfield. He's bloody brilliant.
Do you know who I think is a comedy genius?
Go on.
Chris Miles. But let's move on. Let's not.
So anyway, listen, we'll be giving the top 10 of you, the listeners, votes, probably about 2 o'clock, and then from that list,
If we remember.
if we remember,
If Carl doesn't lose the list.
yeah,
Yeah.
and from that list, we'll probably try and draw up the top 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so quiz time. I know everyone's been looking forward to this. Which quiz is
Well,
it
we're
this
going to
week?
play along because he's done Songs of Phrase where he cuts up bits and pieces from records. You have to guess the title or the artist, and makes a well-known phrase, i.e. a phrase that we've said a lot. And the challenge is that me and Steve have got to try and work out what it is as well before we will tell you the phrase, but let me just see if I can guess. Play it.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Right, I know what that is.
I didn't hear it. Can you play it once more for me?
Right. I know what that is. Right, it's why don't they play the game of swing ball? Because that's what he said when he turned on and saw people in wheelchairs playing tennis.
And his point was,
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
oh dear.
That is so naughty. This show's been a bit naughty, I think. I don't know what's happened to us. I think it's like, sort of end of term sort of madness, but I think we've got to calm down here. We've been a bit naughty there. We said, you know, bloke with 2 dicks. We said Chinese people don't talk properly, which is a little bit...
Offensive.
Yeah. Know what I mean, Carl?
Well, they don't know.
Right, okay, let's leave it now.
Okay, stop there, Carl. Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of XFM or any
Yeah.
other human being.
If you think that me and Steve have been being offensive, we are strongly behind the guise of irony, satire, and ignorance. Carl only has ignorance and hate.
Yes.
No, but as long as you say something good about someone, you can also say something bad about
Go
them.
on,
How
then.
does that work?
Go on, then, give us an example.
Well, Chinese,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
Great people, right?
Good.
Really,
that's
the
good
women really good looking as younger people.
No!
They get
What are you
older.
doing?
I'm just saying, as long as you know what I mean, there's good and bad and everything.
For every
Well, what are the
positive and
old ones
negative.
like?
They don't age well.
What do you mean?
The fella in Karate Kid, the teacher, was only about 36.
We started this. We started this. Oh.
Fact. So, songs of praise, email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, right?
I mean, I have to say, Carl, it's very tricky this week. You've got some very obscure sounding songs there.
Yeah, just all we want is the artists.
I think just the song, Carl, mate.
I
No,
think
actually, that's hard.
harder. I
No,
think
that's
that's
hard.
harder.
Yeah, the artist.
Just the artist, I know.
Okay, so these are the prizes this week.
Well,
We've
let's play it again so they can hear it. Try and work out all the different artists.
Yeah, why don't they play
the game of
the game of swing ball?
Right?
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
That's tricky.
It is tricky.
That is tricky.
That is good.
But there's some great prizes, including, Carl, I can't help but notice, torn from the current, well, I think today's issue of the Daily Mirror.
What, he's giving away a giveaway?
It's a free CD from the Daily Mirror, which you can buy it, you spend 30p on the Mirror, you can get this anyway. But it's still in the piece of plastic that it came in, I love
just
that.
ripped.
Anyway, there are some other treats.
Oh, you'll be loving getting that through the door.
So there's the Jingly Jangly Sound of Summer, Good Vibes, a 2-CD set featuring music from Crowded House, R.E.M., Simon and Garfunkel and the Beach Boys.
I'll tell you what, I've thought of another game. We can put Carl's into theory, right? I can tell him a sort of like a person or, you know, a people or a place, right? Or a profession, and he's got to come up with a good and bad.
A good and bad thing.
It is dicing with death.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do this?
Well, listen, if we're quitting in the next couple of weeks, then who cares?
Okay. Good and bad, right?
Well, hang
You've
on,
got
whoa, let me just
good
tell
and-
we're on the prizes here.
Alright, okay.
So now 55. I know there's
Okay.
a lot of XFM listeners who are going to be looking forward to the likes of S Club 8 and the Fast Food Rockers. They're all on there.
I can't wait. What is their second single going to be about?
The Smashing Pumpkins. This is quite a good little compilation of sort of B-sides and live performances and stuff like that, which is not bad. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. I think we've given that away in the past. All sorts of stuff on there. Plus the director's cut of True Romance on DVD, the Tarantino scripted.
Oh, it's a great film.
Tony Scott
That's some
directed
brilliant-
movie. So there's some quite good prizes. Just play it once more. Carl.
So email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Why don't they play the game of swing ball?
Just the artist, yeah. That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, yeah.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Very tricky.
Brilliant.
Very,
That
very
is
tricky.
brilliant.
All right, bung the song on. I'll bung the song on now.
What?
Let's put a song on. Bit of Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
Good and bad. Good and bad. Old people. Darkness. I believe in a thing called love on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Karl set the ball rolling with songs of phrase. Why don't they play swing ball? Referring, of course, to people in wheelchairs who play tennis, because he was disappointed they weren't getting around the court quickly enough. So why didn't they play swing ball?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Someone just emailed in saying because if they hit it to the top, they wouldn't be able to reach it to unravel it.
Exactly.
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, good and bad in people in wheelchairs. Do you want to do that? Good and bad. Good and bad things about people in wheelchairs.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Suppose. Don't know really. They take up less room in cinemas. They've got their own seat.
Good.
That's good, is it?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Well done.
And what's bad?
Don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
But well, let's leave that, eh?
You started it. The hate list. Can I just return your minds to the hate list? I said on the hour that we would give you basically the top 5. Now, we have to stress, this is the top 5 most hated people that you, the XFM listeners, have suggested to us. We have not massaged these.
No.
We have not made these up. These are coming from you. Last week we began it. This week you've continued to email. So this is the list. We do not endorse this list. Some of them we may agree with, some of them maybe not, but it's the list that you have come up with. We are merely the messengers.
I tell you who was coming through recently. Cameron, but he didn't make the top 5.
I'm afraid he was just a late
Williams
entrant.
dropped out of the top 5.
Robbie Williams surprisingly dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So let me tell you now, in no particular order, this is the top 5 that you're voting for.
XFM listeners. Well, I say XFM listeners, people who listen to this show. I mean, XFM listeners aren't typical radio listeners, and I think our listeners aren't typical XFM listeners.
Right.
So, I don't know what this poll, what it's worth. What any poll's worth, but I mean, this one is probably worth very little.
In a way, it's sort of worth less.
Yeah, go on, who's the top 5 in no particular order?
We want you, the listener, to then just vote, email in with the one name that you hate the most, and then from this list,
Out of
we
this
can
list,
clear out the number 1.
Okay.
But this is in no particular order. Chris Tarrant,
Yeah.
a surprising entrant. Davina McCall.
Well, I don't think he's that surprising.
Well, anyway,
'Cause, I mean,
I'm not
these-
going to editorialise.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying I imagine XFM listeners pretty much despise someone like Chris Tarrant.
Okay, well anyway, Chris Tarrant's on there. Davina McCall.
Yeah.
Patrick Kilty.
Right.
Graham Norton.
Right.
And Chris Moyles. Now, I'm not going to say anything. Those are the names that you have drawn up. There are lots of others that didn't make the top 5. Richard Madeley was on there. Michael Flatley. Vorderman, bizarrely.
Michael Flatley's a weird one.
Very strange. So Jamie Oliver, a lot of votes for him, but he's not made the top 5. So those are the top 5. Just email in with the number 1 that you hate. And we're talking about someone
another pointless, inane poll.
Exactly.
And this time we did it. Oh, dear.
Moyles, Norton, Kilty, McCall, Tarrant. It's your choice.
Who would you have
Ricky
out of this?
Gervais.
Who would you have in your list, Carl? You're allowed to talk because people know your opinions don't matter. So, what?
I honestly don't really hate anyone.
That's
that
nice.
much. I'm not that fussed. You know what I mean?
We're not
I don't
talking so
like
much about hate. We're talking about someone that
Yeah, we don't
annoys
mean
you. Someone
hate. You can't hate any of these people. All they've done was pop them up on telly. But I think it's people who, as one listener, she put it. She sort of, I think she had some of those, and she said, you know, I don't hate them. These are the people that if they pop on my telly, I have to turn over. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't hate them. You know.
But sometimes it's not their fault. It's like Davina, right? I used to quite fancy her, and now because she's always on the telly, it's like I can't be dealing with her now.
Sure.
But
Right.
she's still the same presenter. It's just that I'm bored with it.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not getting involved in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? Don't want to offend anyone.
Let me just give the email address.
But I
Ricky,
mean,
let me
okay.
just give the email address. I just said it, so look, talk over it.
Okay, I'm going to do Carl's top thing.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. That's also the email address for your answers to this week's Songs of Phrase. Play it again, Carl, if you would.
Go on.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
We just want the artists, is that right?
Yeah, that will do.
I've got 2 that you don't like. Not that you hate them, but that you sort of like don't agree with them. Would Liverpudlians be in your list?
Probably.
What about gay fellas in toilets looking at you?
Well, I think they've sorted that out. So
One of the prizes this week in Carl's goodie bag features this song. Play it, Carl. The Monkees. Pleasant Valley Sunday.
God.
Monkees, Pleasant Valley Sunday. Brilliant. XFM 104.9, Karl Pilkington.
This show is monkey heavy,
It
isn't
is
it?
indeed.
It is monkey heavy. Carl, if you were president, would you sort of make it compulsory to maybe have a little monkey? Everyone has a little monkey of their own. Little chimps out and out, old age pensioners.
it's not a bad little. It's funny, you know, because there was a story the other day when I was looking for Monkey News. Right? There's a story about a couple who couldn't have any kids, right? There's something wrong with them, but they really wanted a kid. And they got some dodgy email address where they could buy a baby online, right? It was someone who would have a kid, and you could buy it for $3,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they got one, they got picked, and they're like, brilliant, there's the money. Got the baby and everything, they were loving it. You know, playing with it and stuff. As it got older,
Feeding it.
it got airier.
Oh, shut the oh, Carl!
Turned out they'd been sold a chimp.
You maniac. You stupid mank twat.
How on
Don't
earth?
talk shit. That is as if... That, what?
didn't know it.
Oh, don't talk. Are you mental? You
I love the fact
stupid.
that didn't make it into Monkey News.
I know, yeah.
It's a bit sad though. We don't like to bring
They
the
bought...
feature down.
Yeah.
But
And how
anyway.
long was this into... It got hairier. They're born hairy!
No, it wasn't.
They're not born like humans then develop hair, because they go, hold on, we better get the chimp stuff kicking in now, because we're in the jungle.
School photograph. They were like, hang on a minute. It looks a bit weird. With all the
Oh,
other kids.
you are just
Mad, innit?
the rubbish. Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Imagine, oh, God.
But
Just
anyway.
imagine if he was in charge. We did put him in charge of the country.
Terrifying.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Let him run the country.
Just for a week.
Or the mayor. What would you do if you were the president or the Lord Mayor of London or the Prime?
Prime Minister Carl.
I
don't
wouldn't do it. Like he's going to be offered it. It's a hypothetical question, Carl.
No, but Suzanne was, right, my missus, if you're a new listener.
You keep her, sure.
Yeah, help her.
She was watching the news, trying to follow some heavy stuff. And I'm like,
The weather?
Do
What?
you know what I mean? I just was like bored and I was reading about that mouse that had an ear on its back and stuff like that. So she said, well, you take notice of this. Should be, you know what Ricky and Steve are like. They try to teach you stuff and you don't even want to learn. So to try and get me interested in it, she was like saying, what would you do if you're president and stuff?
Yeah.
And I can't be doing with any of it. It's
What did you
hassle.
come up with? You must
What would
have.
your slogan be?
What did you come up with? Did you come up with anything?
I had a little, the design of it, right? I said I'd have like red and blue, to sort of, do you know what I mean? Both sort of major sides into one. To start a
Well,
bow.
that's broken the back of it. That's a pretty good manifesto so far. Anything else? What's on the second page?
I had like, KP looks after me.
That would be the badges, would it?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm a KP nut.
Yeah.
Um,
KP looks
that's-
after me.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's about as far as I went with it.
What would you do? What about policies, transport, crime? Just law and order.
Yeah, how would you deal with crime? What would your initial approach be? Would you introduce guns? Should police carry guns?
Nah.
No.
Yeah. Would I have to worry about that?
Okay.
you're
No,
the Prime
good point.
Minister.
Good point.
No, what I'm saying is though, I mean, Tony Blair isn't sorting everything out, is he?
No, but he has a say in most things.
Does he? Well, go on then. What are the problems at the moment? That need sorting out.
Well, generally, what's the best way to combat? Would you bolster up the prison system? Would you introduce more community service?
Would you
put more bodies on the beat?
would you go harsher for say I don't know drugs? Would you go harsher or less harsh? There's pros and cons of
Higher or
both, isn't it? Because of course you can't see to condone it, but some people you don't want to go through the court system and cost taxpayers thousands of pounds of money for someone, I don't know, difference between smoking a spliff and dealing crack. Do you know what I mean? You have to all these things. Have I lost you?
Yeah, I'd just think about it for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You think about it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably ask Suzanne. Do you know what I mean?
This is amazing.
Get her help on it.
Yeah. Can
Now,
we
what about the foreign situation? Would you have supported Bush in his war on terrorism? You're aware of this war that we had recently?
Yeah. I mean, if I was new though, couldn't I just say, look, new slate. Do you know what I mean? Let's start again.
Yeah,
Right.
of course you can.
I'm in charge now. Let's see if we can sort this out.
What would you do then?
Then see what happens. Just leave
Brilliant.
it. Just leave it.
Suck it and see.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is excellent.
Now,
So
this is not really your jurisdiction. This is not really your area, but I imagine you'd have some powerful friends. You might have a say in it.
Go on.
Yeah. Would you? What would you do about single-sex marriages, same-sex marriages?
See, this got this Cameron. I thought Cameron had blown it on Big Brother because they said, what do you think about gay fellas getting married? And he went, no, in the Bible it says, a man and a woman. And I thought, oh, he's put off a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't think many Christians tune into Big Brother, but we know the gays love it.
Yeah.
They love Big Brother, don't they? The gays.
Yeah, so interesting. But
So,
what would your take be on that? Same-sex marriages.
And then what? Having a kid?
Well, just let's start off with,
Well, that's all right, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it. If it's not affecting anyone else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? But it starts getting tricky
Right.
when you get a kid.
Okay.
Go on, why?
Well, it's just tricky, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could be right. I'm not giving anything. I mean, you know, we're not. There's no right or wrong
It's
answer.
alright if you were in, like, if you lived in the jungle, right, with no one else,
Yeah.
right, and you just had these two fellas, right,
Yeah.
looking after you, but because you got no one else looking in on that saying, oh, you're a bit weird, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
as soon as you come
So,
to...
is it, why have they got married? Do you think that gay people turn to a bloke because they couldn't get a woman? If there's two fellas go away and they're in the jungle, they go, we're definitely not going to find a woman here. We might as well bum. That's not how homosexuality starts. People don't.
It makes you wonder. If,
No, it does make you wonder. Gays don't go, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a woman I fancy yet. I'll try a bit of knob.
No. But what I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in like a little jungle, right?
Yeah.
You
How are you brought up?
Someone just puts you there.
I don't know what. I don't know
I
what
can't be
this is
bothered,
about.
Steve. I can't be bothered.
Go
running
on,
the
mate. I'm
country.
listening. I'm fascinated.
I can't be bothered running the country. Like, I'm too much trouble for you.
KP takes care of me.
Alright, then fair
yeah,
enough. What
okay.
I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in a jungle,
Yeah.
Right.
right, on
What
your
do you
own,
mean brought up?
Just let him finish.
What does he mean
You
brought-
understand
brought
what
up,
he means,
though?
like Tarzan.
You've got to tell me what you mean by brought up. Wolves, chimps. What?
Right, well, there's a good example of what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Right, what I'm saying is, there's a fella, right, he's brought up in the jungle.
Shut up. Just let him finish.
brought
Let him
up.
finish.
There's no women about, he doesn't know about women, he doesn't understand what women are,
Right.
right? But another fella walks in the scene,
Yeah.
and he gets pally with him.
What does he talk about?
Then they've both got needs.
This scenario is ridiculous. How has he lived? Or do you know what's his reference
I
points?
can't be bothered with this. Honestly, Saturday should be, day off and that, not worrying me about problems.
God! Oh! Oh, God!
KP takes care of me.
Oh, dear. Elbow. Fallen Angel on XFM 104.9. So, there we go. Karl as president. He's still confused, aren't you, Karl?
Just a little bit sort of amazed
Yeah.
by the body.
Yeah. You're in
Just
awe of it, aren't you?
Just the way,
I'm amazed how two people can buy a baby on the internet for £3,000 and not realise it's a chimp till it goes to school.
no, but seriously, what we're, talking about there during Elbow and Fallen Angel, we were talking about that I think
Yeah.
if you're locked up, well, not locked up in a room, you've got a normal life, except there's no women in it,
Yeah.
right?
But how would that happen? What would his point of reference be? How would you bring
Right,
up
hang
a
on a minute,
person
can I just ask you
and
something,
totally
though?
go on?
How can infinite monkeys and a typewriter?
Right, again, I've told you before, right? That is not, you don't actually have to test that model. It's basically a model for that explains the nature of infinity. Okay?
Yeah, but
I've told you before, it works because of the definition of infinity. There's nowhere in the world you'll ever be able to get an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters to
But anyway, all I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I think if you don't know about women, would you crave for a woman, even though you don't know they're around?
when you hit sort of puberty, your hormones will kick in and you'd start getting urges.
But for what? If you don't know about it?
You don't have to know about it. You don't, if you grew up and you started feeling hunger, you wouldn't go, I wonder what that is. You'd go, get me a sandwich, I'm starving.
It's different now, it's different.
But I'm not, but we're not
Body's
saying
weird.
it's all hardwired or people can't change their natural state. We do it all the time. We fight nature all the time with conditioning.
Body's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's that one. I'll tick that. It's weird, isn't it?
No,
I'll
the body is. There was something,
Yeah.
did you read that thing the other week about,
Man with two penises?
no, we don't need that, we don't need that.
Lawyer who got in office realised he was actually an orangutan and they just shaved him and put a suit on him from Hugo Boss. And the funny thing is, he won the case and the judge said, well, don't send him back to jungle. Let him set off on his own. Bodge it, wibble and podge. You'd make the best judge in the world.
No, there's a fella,
Here's a banana.
There's a fella who was in a coma for 20 years. Just they kept like taking him through like the normal day. They take him to Alton Towers and stuff. Doesn't know anything about it. Just kept going through the motions. Don't know if they kept charging him. Kept putting him through all that. He eventually came out of it. 20 years.
And went, stop taking me to Alton Towers, it's shit!
I just thought, imagine how much
stop
post
making, eh?
How much post?
Oh,
Did you read about that guy in the paper, Carl? He, sorry, on the internet. He in about, I think it was about 1984, 85, he had a terrible car accident.
But this must be it.
He went into a coma.
This must be what he's talking about.
Well, they didn't take him to Alton Towers.
Of course they didn't. But you've got to try and decipher the truth from the conjecture, from the thing that I mean, don't forget, Carl says, realises that he's had a dream. He talks to Suzanne and goes, that was good, wasn't it, last night we were in the plane? She goes, no, that's a dream. He goes, oh yeah, where's my cornflakes? You got to, you know what I mean, I can now decipher what he's actually seen, what he's read.
Well, go on, what did you...
Well, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
It is the same guy.
It was a guy in some small American town, and he'd had a car crash, and he'd gone into a coma, and his wife had left him. She'd gone on with her life, because he'd been in a coma since then, and he had just woken up recently.
Marriage wasn't working.
Marriage wasn't working. He just wasn't paying her enough attention. He actually had, she was pregnant at the time, and so now his daughter is basically the same age as he was when he went into the coma. And, he's just started coming around, he's just started making jokes. They said, how do you feel? He said, horny, which I thought was quite witty for a man who'd been in a coma for however many years. But anyway, yeah, so he's slowly trying to rebuild, what life he can.
That's
what do you make of that, though? Because the thing is that he's missed, imagine what he's missed, Carl. Imagine the music that he's missed, the
Live
TV
Aid.
programmes,
Missed
the
Live
news.
Aid.
Live Aid, he's missed
He missed,
completely. The
Phil
Spice
Collins
Girls,
playing in 2 continents in one day.
which, frankly, I'd be devastated if I discovered that.
Missed
happened.
Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't, so he'd put on ripped jeans and they go, passe.
They just have to send him a series of those, I Love 1986
Exactly.
programmes with Kate Thornton filling him in on what he's doing.
Exactly. Peter Kay reminding him of space operas.
Yeah,
he
Richard
remembers
Butler
those.
talking rubbish.
Yeah. So,
extraordinary though, isn't it, Carl, to think? No, obviously
So,
not.
had he aged much? Because he hadn't had any problems or anything, no worries.
well,
Is that
he probably wouldn't have, physiologically, he probably wouldn't have the wear and tear of a 43-year-old man.
Was that a good
Because
kid?
he wouldn't have had sun, he wouldn't have had sort of nicotine, beer.
Unless they were just feeding that to him.
Anyway,
to try and
still,
bring him round.
yeah, yeah.
You feel groggy though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you might feel a bit groggy, yeah.
Well, he's not fully back to normal. I mean, there's some kind of residual brain damage.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he can form sentences. He's got no real memory, so he can't remember a lot of things.
It was just when I saw
Carl,
it,
have you been in an accident?
So are we, giving the answers out for what's in there?
Oh, later, play a tune. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
Bit of Snoop Dogg?
Oh, play a
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg from 1993. And What's My Name?
Long time ago.
It was indeed.
10 years ago.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Songs of Phrase. We've had very, very few entries. I really think people aren't interested. They really have just given up. I mean, seriously, Carl,
That's the one thing you contributed to this show, Carl. And it's the weak link, I
the
think,
missing link.
in the chain. The missing link. Oh, do you reckon there is one, Carl? Do you reckon they'll ever find the missing link? Wandering around Manchester.
Wait a minute, Carl. The stats then. Let's have the answers, if we can.
Right, it was,
Well, let's
specials.
play it once more.
Alright.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why.
Specials.
Yep. Jermaine Jackson.
Game of swing.
Right, it was, Play the Game of Love. I think that was Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Right, you think, but you're not sure.
Louis Armstrong was the, Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
Yeah.
And Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, We're Having a Good Time, and that.
We're having a ball.
We're having a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you yourself weren't entirely clear, I think it's only fair to give it to Paul Brown, who got some of the answers right.
PB, you are getting those prizes.
well
they
done,
are
P.
on their way
They're
to you
winging their
now.
way to you. Okay, the stats are in for the XFM listener hate list. Some interesting results.
Go on then.
Reverse order.
Okay, in 5th
In
place.
5th place, interesting, Davina McCall.
Yeah. I think that's is a reflection of being on telly all the time and running out of stuff and being a bit over the top and yeah.
4th position.
Yeah.
Christopher Tarrant.
Okay, well, I mean, that's, yeah, I wouldn't have thought he's the favourite.
There is
role
a
model
joint
go on.
2nd place.
Go on.
Graham Norton
Yeah.
is alongside in 2nd place. Patrick Kilty, which means Chris Moyles is the winner with an overwhelming vote. And I swear to God, I have not done anything to those stats.
Yeah.
That is exactly as they've come in off the email.
We do not give our opinions on this.
Do
That
not
was the
condone
XFM listeners, but, well done.
Thumbs up, you all win a
We're going
prize.
to play you some nice records because of that, aren't we?
I reckon they'd sort of prefer some ads.
Either's fine.
Yeah. Feeder. Forget About Tomorrow. On XFM 104.9. When I was at university, my best mate was a bloke called Wally, and he was doing psychology, and I was doing philosophy, and we both got into this theory called determinism, which is about the state of the mind, and it's a materialistic view that everything is part of the causal web, and everything has a reaction for something that happened before it. And by the way, Carl, do not confuse this with fatalism. Determinism is not predictive. It's just that if a brain state happens again, then anyway, the famous
Everyone
one is.
knows.
Yeah, the famous one is, if, you know, a butterfly hadn't shaken its wings, Queen Victoria wouldn't have sneezed. Everything's inextricably linked, right? We were thinking that, right? And we're thinking, what if, you changed one word in, like, classic songs, or one note in Beethoven's symphony?
Yeah.
How it just wouldn't work.
Well, I've always thought that, come on baby, light my fire.
Yeah.
Not as good. That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Enigmatic, interesting. Not so good. More pedestrian if it was come on baby, light a fire.
Yeah! Just one thing wrong!
Yeah.
That'd be great. Just sitting there, Paul McCartney comes to John Lennon and he goes, alright John, written a song. He goes, well she was just 17, well you know what I mean. The way she looked was way beyond compare. I wouldn't dance with another.
I'll stop you there.
Go on.
I'll stop you there.
What's the matter?
Something not quite right with that. I love the song. It's great.
Yeah.
Just once more. For
Well,
us.
listen, don't be too harsh. I mean, because we write our own songs.
No,
but
sure,
we can still put both our
John,
names
I think
to
you're
it.
a great talent. I think you're a great talent.
Well,
I'm just saying.
listen, you hippie, right?
Well, not yet.
Well, not yet, but I mean, there's a Japanese bird outside looking
Don't
in.
fancy him, not interested.
No, well, listen, well.
And I'll never
right?
change my view.
Right, now listen, right? I wouldn't dance with another.
Is that bit?
Is it that bit
That
you don't
bit's
like?
not
Is it the...
working.
I just like the...
Could you try and... Is there a different
Well,
pitch
okay.
you could go?
I wouldn't dance with another.
So again.
You don't like the... Is
I'm
it the
just
noise?
not sure the girls are going to go crazy for it when we do that
just
bit.
think, just think of...
Is there anything else you've got?
I love the idea of just changing one
Yeah.
lyric. Radiohead. Well, that was their classic song. Creep. You can't really change that, can you? Burke. What if they called it Creep? I'm a Burke. I'm a twat.
I'm a knob.
But don't worry about determinism, Carl. Just
Please.
because it says we don't have a free will as such, you know, it's more an illusion. It's not whether we choose our choices, whether we can choose, you know, to choose our
He
choices.
knows all this.
But don't, as I say, do not confuse it with fatalism. It is non-predictive and does not change anything. I mean, the moral upshots are frightening because if we have no free will, then are we culpable for our actions? But again, it changes something because you've got to take people out of society that are at harm.
Carl has often said that.
All right, Carl?
Am I still the president?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not.
Yeah, what would you do? What would you do about determinism? Change it.
I'd have a day off.
If you were president of America, would you ban guns? It's in the Constitution. Everyone's allowed to have them.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I just love that. Imagine all your different aides and the Secretary of State and generals coming to you, and they come out and they go, "What did he say?" He goes, "He said he's going to think about it." Again, did he say that again? Did he? Yeah. What was he doing? He was on over looking at monkey news. Apparently, a chimp stole a car and drove to France.
Now,
Brilliant.
monkey news. You're talking.
I'll tell you what. Should we have a great song then? Monkey news.
It would be an absolute treat.
What
It'd be
about a
great.
little bit of David Bowie, Sorrow?
Yeah.
Didn't write this one, but I mean, he sings it bloody well. David Bowie, Sorrow. on XFM 104.9. Nearly there, but, you know, we're working our way up to the grand finale. The bit where Karl spouts absolute nonsense from a dodgy source on the internet about a monkey who did something impossible.
Let's cue up the jingle.
Hang on. Alright.
Perfect.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news!
Right. Let's have a look. This one's from some woman, right?
Yeah.
And she was taking part in the London to Brighton bike ride, right? Lovely day, weather's good and everything.
What year?
She's just a couple of months ago. She's done all the training, right? Done all the training and stuff. Got a brand new bike for it. Got a little puncher outfit and stuff, all set for the day, right? It's a nice day. She sets off. They all start pedalling and that on the way to Brighton, right? So she knows the route and that. Got her little headphones on, cycling along. Suddenly...
Right, okay, I'm sorry now. If a cyclist overtakes her and it's going really fast and it's sort of hunched over, but it's got like lots of cycling gear on and a helmet and goggles and they can't tell what it is, but they just know it's like a little hairy fella who hasn't bothered shaving his legs, which is weird, isn't it? Because cyclists usually shave their legs and this bloke had really hairy legs. But and it won. They gave it the medal. It won 3 years running. They gave it the key to the city. It had its own game show. And then someone said, "Hold on, though. This fella's all hunched over and he's only 3'5" and his arms are longer than his body. It's a chimp. If it goes anywhere near that, we're never doing it again."
More monkey news next week.
She's cycling along.
Anyway, she's cycling along, right? And this tricycle...
I couldn't predict that!
There's always one element you can never anticipate.
Yeah! Got a kiddie's tricycle with a little kid on it. Little hairy kid with a helmet. Okay, just go on then.
Well, the tricycle comes...
Whizzing past, yeah.
him.
Strong legs, don't they, chimps?
So she's thinking that's... But didn't get a chance to see the thing.
Oh, yeah, couldn't quite see the cyclist! Oh, God! You bald mank git. Go on. Yeah, research scientist Karl Pilkington.
So anyway, she gets to the end line, right? Yeah. And they got talking, that said it was a nice day, nice race and all that. So did you see a little thing on a tricycle?
Thing? Well, a person, surely, just a human. Did you see that? No. Did you see that bloke on the tricycle?
So anyway, turns out...
Yeah! Well, what did you say thing? Well, no, there's no suspicious. I mean, what did you say? Did you see that fellow on a tricycle?
Anyway, so it turns out...
Go on.
It was a chimp.
You're joking!
Right.
Well, Christ almighty, there you go. Unbelievable, and it was a chimp all along.
So anyway, right, so the woman's like...
We're never doing this again.
Checking out the news, right? There's nothing on it. She checks out XFM Monkey News.
Right, okay, I'll stop you there again. Right? If it turns out she doesn't lose, right, and the circus goes, "We're looking for our chimp, it used to ride this tricycle, and it escaped with police chasing it."
No. So she listened to XFM, see if I'd picked up on the story.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't have it and stuff. So she got in touch with the organisers of the London to Brighton bike ride, said, "Look, saw a little hairy fella."
Why did she care?
Because she wanted to know, she thought it was a bit odd.
Well,
Turns out it was a chimp. They weren't happy about it.
Of course not.
Because now the owner of the chimp wants to enter it into the Tour de France.
No! Oh, God! I'm gonna die! Oh, God!
In 2005.
Now, a couple of questions. I trust you'll be able to answer these.
Oh, God! Steve, help me out.
How did it get hold of the tricycle?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. That's not an important point.
Look, that's important. What's the matter with you, Steve? He doesn't know that.
How did it know to... well, firstly, how did it know which way to cycle? But more importantly, how did it know there was a major bike ride on
Just following the crowd,
No,
Steve.
no.
What's the matter with you?
The owner of it had trained it and stuff.
No, he hadn't!
It had already done the run beforehand, before the big day.
No, it hadn't.
Like I say, it wants to do the Tour de France in 2005.
No, it doesn't.
But there's something about animal rights. If they don't let it enter, they can kick up a bit of a fuss.
The animal rights is that it's cruel to make a chimp ride a bicycle.
Not if it
that
wants
it's
to.
prejudice that it'll go, "Is it because I is hairy?" You idiot!
Right? So...
Wow, that is the worst. That is the worst one yet. Absolute twaddle. Absolute rubbish, Karl.
Have you got a tricycle?
Unbelievable.